Hello. How are you guys? Hey, Chicharino. Actually, I had a lot of work, so it didn't feel like a holidays. But I don't know. The streets were emptier because everyone were at the beach, I guess. So and also the weather got colder on in during the nighttime. So I was very pleased at that because I was able to go to sleep without having so many mosquitoes, so many flies and bugs and the humidity that I hate so much about summer. So the days are a bit much more chill. Uh, the temperature has dropped a bit, but I don't know how long it's going to last. Probably it's going to the heat is going to return. I know it. Do you live close to the sea? Oh no, I don't. No, I live in the city. I don't like. It's not that it's like very far away, but yeah, it is. Like it's not like a 2 hours ride. It's a long trip. Lily shirts. I don't do future wives reading. I don't do those. I don't like those. I don't believe in those. Thank you, Marushka, for replying also. There's plenty of other channels that do it. I don't do them. But there's a lot. I know there's other readers that do it. Okay, guys. Well, let's wait a bit until some other people can join. Of course, we can do. I don't know which one do you want to do first. Like, do you want to do how do they flirt for different idols first, or do you want to do first their fantasies for NCT 127 with this deck? You choose. Hey Akira. Hey Samara. Okay, NCT 127 first, and then we will move on to how do they flirt, and in this you can. Let's not remember. Okay. But remember that the one that has a specific idols, it's the dynamic, how do they flirt, not the sexual one. The sexual one, we can do them like for the other random idols that we can think of next Wednesday. I hope you got an energy drink. I'm okay. I wanted to buy, champagne or something to toast for Jaehyun's birthday, but I couldn't get any. Like, actually, I forgot. I was at the mall and I forgot. I forgot to buy it. Also, before we start, can we appreciate Ten's solo? Can we have a segment to appreciate Ten's solo album? Like, it's great, guys. I love it. I love it. And this is not, this is not me talking as a fan of everything that he does. I love it. I love it. I'm in love. Definitely, he sets the bar very high for whoever wants to go solo, like to his level of artisticness. It's like it can be a very weird concept, and he pulls it off. Like the way he pulled off that Night Walker. Like I'm like, oh. Yeah, they have it on repeat. It's beautiful, very layered, artistic, and hypnotic. Her snipped. Well, that's okay, Samara. Maybe it's not your style. It's like it's not that. I think that like it's so different, but I think that he has made it his own. You know how sometimes they get these songs that you're like, and he just gave it a turn. I think that what I mean is more like not just by listening to it, but also visually. Visually, like when I see him, he has such a presence, such an artistry that I'm amazed. Like definitely, like. I know the lyrics. Yeah, yeah. I totally, I know. Yeah, I know. That was like really that lyric. Like you start singing it and you're like and then I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like if I start to think about it, and you know that I'm not a native speaker, so I could be wrong. I could not be understanding, but I think I sort of can see and be like, is this correct? Like, is this how it goes? Oh my. Yeah, yeah. No, it's given Suji solo. I loved Suji solo. That song, which was it? 28 Reasons? 28 Reasons, I believe it was called, Suji's song. I love that one also. And the way they try to boycott Ten's project, and he did very well. I'm glad he's getting the recognition. I'm glad people are buying. Some lyrics are okay, but some like dangerous. I was laughing. I listen to that as well. There are songs that make sense. It's just giving the a little lazy with certain songs. Yeah, a friend of mine said the same. She was just like getting into ten. Like she was like she's not an citizen. Actually, she doesn't vibe very much with the NCT style, but she was very. She discovered at ten. I believe she watched Birthday, and she was like, "Oh, this guy is amazing." And I was like, I kept showing her, different solo videos, some videos of Wavy as well, of ten, but I think that she's like, oh yeah, I admire him. I recognize how talented he is. But I think that she also was like, oh wow, this is what they gave him. Like, I wish he could write his own songs. I wish he could like have much more freedom in that sense because I don't know about do they give them the songs like even when he's solo or he can like actually have an involvement in them. I don't know about that. Do you know, guys? Hey, Hope. He picks the song that I suggested to him. They choose their songs at SM. They let him work on choreography. He has the freedom there. Yeah, because if you think about it, he knows English. Like he can speak English. So I imagine how awkward it must be for him to sing those. I know that sometimes it's on purpose. It's on purpose that K-pop has some weird English lyrics. Um, I also did notice this with some words in Spanish as well. There's some words that I'm like, why are you when the song has a bit of a Caribbean kind of beat, they throw those random words, loco, like loco, um, and another Spanish words that I'm like, but he did amazing. I love him. I love like I don't care. He did amazing. But yeah, at first which was it? That song, the one of the one that the video that had like two performances. Um, that there was a song that in the bridge it said "My Water." Like I don't know if that's how it's called, "My Water." Then the other one, how was it? What was it, the name? When I read the lyrics, I was like, the subtitles must be wrong. There's something weird here. And it just made no sense. Like, I was like, oh, my word, I kind of understand, him being a Pisces. It suits him, and then the other dark concept also. But I was like, my water, and then it said something else, and I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. I better turn off the subtitles. Queso. 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 That was epic. Queso. Kevin from The Voice responded to the criticism about silly lyrics in K-pop songs. but not everyone gets a good selection of songs. Like Temi and Shiny have songwriters and lyricists. Buying is it? To write and get their songs chosen by them. SM also holds songwriter counts. Yes, Water song Dangerous, second one. Water. Water and Dangerous. Kevin said, "I try, guys." Yeah, I can sort of see Kevin like, ah, the company says, "No, that's too complicated. We gotta have simple English, catchy lyrics." Wow. Okay. So no good grammatics. Yeah, but simple English doesn't have to be stupid. Yeah, I sort of understand that part, especially when they have this fixation about creating lyrics about food. Food, candy, beverage. Why? Like I'm tired of hearing candy, honey. Oh no. Like, oh my God. Well, but there was a moment also after BTS had the song Fire. The word in the lyrics fire also is used a lot. Fire as well. Cream soda. They said we food. Yeah. Like we food. It sounds like me learning English at the beginning of my childhood. When you skip a verb. I want Rocky Road ice cream. Yes, yes. I think Ivy is a bit better at using English lyrics. Cake, 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 cake. It's catchy. I mean, they have a point. It's catchy. It's catchy. But I'm like, really? Candy again? Poison apple? Poison apple, was it? The boys? No, passion fruit, was it? Poison apple. Poison apple, where did I get it? Passion fruit, is it, of the boys, the subunit? Then the other one is honey. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, also see, yes, DXC and Hypen lyrics, they sound better. They have there's a correlation of meanings. Passion fruit, yes. It's hilarious if they use foreign words to look fancy or cool. Fiesta. Oh, and the French words also. Nowadays they love to throw a French phrase or word in there. German, really? Do you remember some, Chachalina? I didn't recognize German. Bonbon chocolate. La bien Rose. La bien Rose is like, I don't know why it reminds me of. Is it like a perfume? It's a perfume, right? It's a Givenchy perfume. And and what does it mean? It's like life is rose. I know La Vie is like what we say, the life. In Spanish, we said la vida. In la vie, it sounds like similar. Ah, Lancome. Life in pink. Okay. Okay, guys, we're going to start. Well, TXT has cat and dog. Yeah, remember? Yeah. They were so young when they released the teaser of that song. I love that song, their first song. It was so cute. They looked so innocent. I remember when the first teaser came out, that you had these teasers of each member. The one that caught my attention first was Jejun. Jejun. He was the first one that caught my attention. There was something about the shape of his eyes that I loved. Like, I just want to be your dog. The and worth and off overmesh. Ah. Actually, since last week I have been like, admiring Shonu's body, and he gave us plenty of opportunities to admire his body. I have been listening to a lot of old Monsta X songs, and I like them. Like, actually, like I'm liking Monsta X. Like, I knew a few songs, but the other day I found a playlist on YouTube, so I let it play, and I was like, wow, there's no skipping here. It's so, like, I don't know who made the playlist, but it was so, like, so good, so good. Like, I think I'm going to become a mom bebe potentially, guys, because there's something also. I think that we people often talk about this. For me, I don't pay much attention, but there's something about their style, and also that they are grown men, that I just find it beautiful. Like, not just because they're very talented, but also that they are, very mature. That that they look like men. That that. And also their lyrics, and their concept is also very, very sexy. It's very, it's like it's sexy, and there's nothing wrong with that for them. I believe they always had sexy concepts, right? But happy Valentine's Day, crying single. Hey, Lily. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, here we are. The people that are single, and there are people that are not single, but they are still here to support us emotionally. All Mosaic songs are so good. Yeah, I was like, wow, I want to keep watching this. I want to keep listening to this. Like, it has been a while since I listened to some songs. Also, Samara, if you are around, like, I'm not going to steal your bias, but I totally understand the appeal of that man. The way he raps, like he's just so powerful. Like I like it. I like his style. Yeah. Jealousy. I always love Mosaic's few songs I listen to. Jealousy. I have on my playlist. Yes, they seem very fierce. It really depends on the group it's coming from. Mosaics is Mad Hot. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, Fantasia. Yeah. Fantasia. Talking about Spanish random lyrics. My husband. I went to a Monster X concert before the Corona stuff, and it was so cool. Oh, I am. He looks hot. What's the name of the great vocalist? Ki-hyun, I believe. Hello, Jadam. Ki-hyun Fluffy. Yeah, for me, I believe in Mosaics I have two biases. The first one will be Minhyuk. Because Minhyuk is just hilarious. He's so, like, there's something about so cute but annoying at the same time, how talkative he is. Like, his morning Gemini, definitely you can see it all the way. But he's entertaining, like, he's so entertaining. Because in Mosaics, you do have people that don't talk at all. I noticed that especially on some variety show, or not variety show, but maybe sometimes they do some shows on their own YouTube channel, and there are some members that don't talk. They just don't talk. So I think that when you have a Minhyuk, when you have a Jehuni, you are sort of safe in that aspect. It balances things out a bit. But yeah, then visually, I would say Shonu is like I cannot avoid Shonu. Shonu is quiet but beautiful. It's like he gives me the silence and he gives me the beauties. I just have to have him around. But Mihyuk is hilarious. I just, even when I'm laughing sometimes because I don't know much about them, like, but I did watch some performances, and Minhyuk often in some songs he does have like some kind of sexy roles, or where he acts mysterious on stage with certain songs. And he does it very well, but then you see him in these variety shows, you see him in these interviews, and you see him in this very like laid-back content of them just being themselves, and you're like, there's no way this guy is mysterious. Like, he just talks nonstop. Doesn't he look similar to Minhyuk from B2B? Who, Lily? Minhyuk from B2B. Both Minhyuks. Ah, from Mosaics and B2B. Yeah, yeah, they have it's not like, oh, because when I think about B2B Minhyuk, I think automatically about Subin. But yeah, there's something about the shape of their mouth, the way they're very similar. You're right about that. I also don't know why Minhyuk, when he is being mischievous, which is most of the time, he reminds me of Lino as well. of Stray Kids Lino. Maybe when he smiles. When he smiles, I believe. Yes, Minhyuk from B2B and Subin looks scary. Like, looks scary. Yes. Yes. Like brothers. Like, and I don't know who, which one of them, I believe it was Minhyuk, that he actually does have a brother. And the brother said that actually Subin looks more like his brother than the brother himself. Okay, guys. We are going to start because then I'm going to continue with NCT 127 and but yeah, I don't have the mixing, I don't have the bowl nor the piece of papers to do the lottery. But the ones that you are here, you remember who I read for last time. So do you have new people to read for? And this is going to be how do they flirt, not the fantasy one. Their fantasies is going to be for NCT 127. Yes, yeah. Yeah, probably next. Yeah, we'll try to mix it, start next Wednesday with another fantasies also. Yeah, random names. But first we're going to do the random names because I know that probably Samara wants to hear the random people, and then when it's NCT turn, she's going to leave because she heard the NCT reading before, and maybe she's more interested in others. So let's start with the names, the people of other idols, and then the ones that are in Citizen, we stay and we do NCT. I am. I'm not gonna leave. Yeah, but you're going to just stay in the back in the back. I am. No, BTS. No, I didn't. I am Kevin, the voice Kevin. Okay. Jungkook. Okay. Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. This is how do they flirt. I'm just saying because when you finish, yeah, they're gonna be tired. Yeah, it's true. Treasure, Hyunsuk. Hyunsuk. Didn't I do How Do They Flirt series? I think that I didn't. Or I did. Dio, EXO? Okay. Samara, do you have Soyeon, G-Idol? Sehun. Dio was already done, same as the voice Kevin. Someone wanted this member of Hypen Songhun? Hisun? Songhun, I believe. How do you spell Sehun, guys? In hypen, Sehun. Ah, you did the whole series for EXO and The Voice. Ah, okay. So I'm leaving the. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I got this deja vu. I was like, I did this already when. Um, I mean, this could be like 2024 version. Sehun. Okay, thank you. Sehun. Yeah, but this is for TikTok, Summer. It's to upload it on TikTok. Because remember that there was some about how do they flirt. Um, did how do they flirt on a live stream? Do you remember, guys, or was it just showing the cards? Because I remember that I went back to the old lives and I did videos for TikTok. But I don't remember I used how do they flirt. Oh, maybe I missed that because I go through all live streams to create TikToks, to grab a piece of certain videos, but I guess I missed them. Ah, for TXT you did on Patreon. Ah, okay. Ah, Yeah, that one. For Stray Kids, I have to do it on a live stream because I cannot, like, it doesn't look good to sort of grab the picture of the reading. People are not that interested in listening. They sort of watch more my TikToks when I'm like this, like I'm now. Okay. Well, I'm going to do 2024 version, guys. I'm going to do 2024 version. Let's see how this comes out. I also brought an oracle that has messages. This is in Spanish. It has messages for sort of improving your relationships, or I'm going to try to finish it with this. And then if we are not that many, I can pull one for you guys, for each one of you. So if you want to have like a sort of, if you want to have a sort of advice for your love life for this 2024. These are not like, it's not tarot cards. This is oracles with some phrases about self-reflection, about love, relationships, connections, and maybe what you are dealing with. This is like a sort of a message, an oracle. Okay. Mi gente latino. How it got stuck after Jennifer Lopez said Mi gente latino, I'm like, why? Like, the way it, we often talk about K-pop lyrics being in English and just not making sense. Well, Mi gente latino doesn't make sense either. and it's trending. It's like catchy. Everyone uses it. Oh. Mi gente latino. Oh my. There's something that could have been in a K-pop song. Mi gente latino. Oh. And the way she said it, like the confidence that she had. She was like, this is my moment to connect with my people. She with the Caribbean beat. Ah, oh my God. Okay, I want to write down. I'm going to start with Stray Kids I Am. How does he flirt? I'm using the romantic tarot deck today for those who want to know. Um, okay. For IN, we start with the Seven of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. And the Chariot. So I think that for IM, he's definitely working a bit much more with his confidence. I think that how does he flirt? You know, it's very funny because here with the Seven of Pentacles, it's very funny because you see a woman running. She's supposed to go on a date, and I believe that she's in a hurry or she could be potentially late. So she's running, you know, and I think that this is the way he flirts. You know, probably the guy doesn't feel that confident, or he's working on it. I believe that maybe this year we can expect IN to be much more mature, much more stable in his efforts to be more attractive, or to just like, you know, put the effort and not make things awkward. And also thinking about how he is in Aquarius and he has all these pentacles, it lets me know that the guy is working on himself. That he is like, he doesn't want to run away from a potential flirting, you know, flirting with someone that he likes or someone that he's interested in. Maybe in the past he was the kind of running away, you know. This is the Seven of Pentacles. Definitely he wants to be there, you know, he wants to flirt, he wants to have the opportunity. But if this was the Seven of Swords, this would be someone like running away with the swords. Remember, the Seven of Swords is someone like sneakily running away. In here, I think that he's like ready for the challenge, you know, about showing himself and being like, okay, I'm going to flirt. Let's see how it goes. I don't feel 100% confident, but I'm just staying here. And also with the Four of Pentacles, honestly, the guy doesn't have to do much. I think that for him, flirting is just being his beautiful self. If you notice, this woman, you know, she's sitting in there and looking beautiful. She's just sitting there. She's not moving. This is the energy of the Four of Pentacles. It's like it seems like he moves, or he's training himself to be at the right time. You know when someone is like running away because, oh, here comes the person, my crush, or someone that I like. So I sort of move, or I do what I have to do to be in their presence, or so they can see me that I'm there. But once I'm there, you know, even though I ran and I was a bit nervous and I was in a hurry, once I'm there and once they can see me, I act all cool and I don't move. I just shine. I just show how beautiful I am, how radiant I am, you know, how beautiful and attractive I am. Actually, I am like very much in control. You know, I look beautiful. I look, you know, stable. So there's a lot about him, you know, learning to not get that desperate. And if he feels a bit insecure about flirting, he's trying to work on not showing it. He probably feels insecure before. You know, when he knows that he's going to see someone that he likes, or when he starts to feel the attraction, he feels a sort of like, okay, am I ready to do this? Am I good? But once he's there, once he sees the person, it's like he doesn't move. He's magnificent. He's like confident. He is in control. The Four of Pentacles is also stability. It's like, I'm not moving off here. So this is what I think that is very interesting about him. He is not running away from a potential connection with someone. He's not running away from the person that he likes. Or if he finds someone attractive, he's not going to run away from the opportunity. Of course that the guy is trying to be subtle about it. He's not going to initiate the flirting. He's not going to act. But he's going to make sure that the person that he likes acknowledges his presence and that he is in there. So I think that this is signs that he's slowly getting more comfortable in the idea of like, okay, I like this person. I want her, or I want this person to see me. I want this person to acknowledge me. So I don't do much. I'm just being my beautiful, most perfect self. And if they see me, if they appreciate me, if they respect me and value me, I'm just here, you know. And also he has the chariot. So the chariot, again, is someone that is moving. Slowly, but he's moving. I think that the guy probably is ready for a relationship, or he has someone. Because how does he flirt? I think that if you give him the confidence, he is a guy that you can build something with him. I see him very, like, he just is full of illusions about, I don't know if it's about his first love or about concreting something with someone that he really likes. But with the chariot, it's like slowly the guy can make the effort, you know, can take the first step. Maybe not initiate the things, but it's like there could be a continuation of efforts because the guy definitely is showing up. He's not hiding. It's like he shows up even though sometimes he feels like he's not, or either he's not good looking enough or he's not good enough. You know, there's something about him probably comparing himself to others and being like, you know, maybe I'm not their type, maybe they will not like me. But he's been much more like stubborn this time, you know. He's not hiding. He's showing up, you know, and I think that that's very beautiful also. Yeah. And then from the oracle, this oracle, the message that he got is work on your self-value. Work on your self-value. Here it says work on your personal value. It says here in Spanish. It's very long. I don't know if I could like translate it faithfully, but it seems, you know, the message for this, it says, are you leaving yourself for less? This is a moment to put yourself in a pity role. It's time to act by taking care of yourself, pampering yourself, loving yourself, and giving yourself everything you had been given for others to give you. If you don't give a space for yourself, this is how the others are going to treat you. Embrace yourself, love yourself a little bit more, think about yourself for a moment, because that doesn't make you selfish. On the contrary, it strengthens your self-esteem and well-being, and it will make you to have more and better energy to bring to others and share with others. This is a moment where your soul needs you to put in the first place. So see, it's about self-value. It's about him having self-value. And I believe I said this when I pulled cards for him. When I think it was about career, about general reading, but I got also, I know that Ian is very young. Of course, he's figuring himself out. But I think that it's time for him to be a bit selfish, you know, and this could also have to do with his love life or his love interest, you know. Come on, guy, like, you can put yourself in first place. Like, don't be shy, don't feel embarrassed to put yourself in the first place. And I think that this is something that also a lot of idols could struggle with self-value. I think that people sometimes just take for granted or think that they know everything about their idol because they look confident on a photo shoot or, on a concert, like on stage. But who knows? Maybe in personal relationships, they are not that character. They are not that assertive as you see them. They are not that sexy or sexual. It's not them. It's something that they show because it's part of their business. It's part of their talent, and it's something that they probably had been training for. Okay, I'm going to continue with the boys, Kevin. Okay. The boys, Kevin, he got Eight of Pentacles, another one that has Pentacles, Justice, and the Empress. Ooh, let's go, Kevin. You got great cards. He's feeling much more confident. He's feeling much more balanced, Kevin. Definitely. This is a year of a lot of him finding his true beauty, or like sort of having a glow up, but it's more about him growing, him growing in his own charm, and allowing himself to be seen a bit more, But yeah, we start with the Eight of Pentacles, that in this, it's very different from, that Ian, he got the 7 and Kevin got the 8 of Pentacles. So there's something about, I think that Kevin is putting a lot of effort on connections these days and probably this year. So there's something about him probably, how does he flirt? He just is much more spontaneous. He goes and he puts the effort. And if you notice, this is someone carrying, their wife or their special someone in their back, and they are laughing. You know how this person is like crossing the sea, or the, so it's someone like, okay, I got you, and I'm going to support you. I'm going to be there. So I see him like probably how does he flirt? He probably does a lot for the person that he likes, also helping them, carrying them, or being like, oh, how can I help you? Like, let me grab your hand here. Let me help you with this. Like, okay, like I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm going to help you with something. Like, do you need my help? This is very Pisces. But I think that he does it from a very practical side as well. He does it because it's his love language. When he cares about someone, he's like this very hardworking person. It's like he's silent. He's not that lovey-dovey. I don't think that Kevin is that emotional. But he does show that he cares or that he's flirting with someone, like doing very practical things. Like doing like very helping you. And also here with the Justice, I think that he is someone that also is very much in control. And also he wants, with the Justice, he wants to bring balance to the connection. So I think that even though the guy can show interest in someone that he likes, for example, when he's flirting, but also with the Justice and also with the Empress, there's something also about him finding the balance about how he loves himself. It's like, okay, this year, I can be of service to you and do it because I like you and I want to get close to you, but at the same time, I want balance. So I'm sort of waiting for you to do the same for me. So the guy is like, he's not going to be the devoted person that is going to follow you around and do extra things for you. Probably he has done it in the past and he probably was friend-zoned. So in this year, we have the Justice in the middle and the Empress. That is all about him recognizing himself and sort of creating a more balanced dynamic. And if this has to do with flirting, it's like, okay, like I gave you this. Now what is your response? What do you do after my efforts, after I put the effort to go and talk to you? or to go and show you my feelings, or to go and be flirtatious and funny and a gentleman and just like let you know that I'm interested. What are you going to give me in return? Because I also need something in return. The Empress. I also love myself. I also need some validation. I also need it. So please give it to me. I need to know it. I'm going to be waiting. I need something in return. I need this to be balanced. He's like, I deserve it. I gave you this, I gave you my attention, I gave you my effort, so please do something for me as well to let me know that I'm on the right path, that I'm with the right person, that I'm reciprocated, that I deserve love as well. So, yeah, with the justice, he's not playing around. This year is like, I believe that probably has to do with all his relationships. Like, okay, like I'm tired to be, Mr. Service acts or Mr. Charity guy. Like, I actually like, I can be very helpful because I like you and because I want you to be okay. But I also am a human and I also need some care and some loving, and yes. And then from the Oracle, he got the card of leave judgment to a side. Kevin, the voice Kevin. Leave judgments to the side. And it's very funny because it says judgment and we have the justice card. So it's very interesting. I don't know how to translate this correctly because there's some word in here in Spanish, guys, that I don't know how to translate it faithfully, but it says, how many times do we entertain ourselves with, how do you say juicios de valor in English? Someone that speaks Spanish here? I don't know if there's someone. I don't know either. Well, juicios de valor is when you are judgmental. You give value to a certain situation. You are like, oh, this is wrong, this is right. So you are sort of giving it a value. You are judging it. You're judging it. So in here it says how many times or how often we entertain ourselves doing this, value judgments, like we. Yeah, I don't know if that, but probably. It says judgment obstructs. Judgment is an obstruction, is an own mental image and a personal image of ourselves about others. The other simply is. And if we are capable of transcending those ideas or those preconceptions, we will find ourselves being more truthful from the soul. If we achieve this, to leave preconceptions to a side, we will meet and we will be able to enjoy the effect of the synergy in relationships, where 1 + 1 feels better, when 1 + 1 feels much more better than 2. It's not time to judge. It's moment to be in a relationship. So, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys, that this is very, I don't know if this makes sense. But it's about, creating like sort of these judgments about someone. And being like, oh, that person did this to me, and he has the judgment like, I think that in his case, he's like sort of asking for more respect and appreciation from the other side. It's like, okay, I've been flirtatious with you, I gave you my attention, I gave you, I help you, I sort of want the same. But I think that there's also a part of the justice card, and also here that it says leave judgments to a side, that sometimes we can be a bit harsh about certain people or situation. Because we are like, oh, I bet they don't give me the attention that I need because they are using me. or I bet that they don't appreciate me the way I appreciate them. You know, it's about you making assumption about the others. You know, like, oh, I did this for you and you didn't do this for me, so you're out of my life, because you know it's about this very rigid preconception that sometimes instead of allowing the relationship or the person to show you that actually they are much more than this, that maybe they had an issue, they have a personal issue, that this is why they are not giving you what you need or what you deserve. They are having a personal reason why they are not doing it. So it's about, instead of him letting judgment or just creating like these fixed ideas about like, oh, why don't they call me? I bet that they don't care about me. Like, you know, do not make assumptions, you know, because you are closing yourself to the possibility to create something with that person, a synergy. Be patient. Do not create these scenarios in your mind where like, oh, they don't appreciate me, they don't, you know, this rigidness is like, it's not always like this. It's not always because the other person is the bad guy and they don't appreciate you. Sometimes the other person just can't give you what you need in that moment. You know, so you just have to wait and see. Do not make judgments. Especially if it's someone that you just met, you know, like, like sometimes when you make these sort of judgments about someone that you just met, it's very black and white, you know, and you don't know what the other person is going through. If J-Lo was confident, so we can. Yeah. If she was confident, we can too. Oh my. Okay. I'm going to read for How Do They Flirt for Jungkook, for BTS JK. And I do this because he's in the military, so I don't read for people that are in the military, but since this is like an oracle reading, this is about you know, a very generic, it's not about reading his future, it's about how does he flirt. It can be done because I'm not disturbing his energy. Okay. For JK, we have the Ace of Cups. So definitely, first of all, he's a very emotional guy. How does he flirt? He opens his heart up. He opens his heart up. Then we have the Nine of Swords. Then the nightmares start. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. And then from the oracle, he got the card of feel before act, or feel before acting. Which I think that definitely he feels. This is why he starts with the Ace of Cups. I think that probably the weird, like the very awkward thing about Jungkook, about JK, is that he opens up his heart right away. How does he flirt? It's like the typical guy that you can sort of see in his body language, or probably the way he shows himself. You can sort of see he wears his heart on the sleeve. So if the guy is like, he likes someone, or he feels attracted to someone, or he wants to flirt with someone, it shows. It shows. He gets all sensitive, he gets all emotional, he gets all giggly, he gets all, you know, he acts like a lover boy, you know, like someone that is just, you know, that he's just feeling the butterflies, you know. It becomes like something very emotional for something that can be just something very casual, like flirting. You know, maybe he doesn't do flirting very well. Like probably he can do it for the cameras or he can do it for a concept, but when he really feels the attraction with someone, he probably feels very emotional inside. You know, all his feelings, like all he feels awkward. He just starts smiling. He probably gets shy. He probably, gets starts blushing a bit. You know, he feels a lot of things. You know, and he cannot contain how he feels. You know, he cannot contain because he starts feeling. Do you notice how this fountain is like, it's full of water. You know, the water is floating. The water is like, is like overflowing. Is full. I think that this is how he really. He feels initially he feels like a huge wave of emotions. You know, he cannot hide it. He cannot hide it. You can see it. You can feel it. He probably, when he looks at someone that he likes or that he feels attracted, you can see it in his body language or the way he looks at that person. He looks at that person with like with the starry eyes, with dreamy eyes. Like he's like, and you can sense that he changed. He changed, but he's not like, at least how I feel it here. I know he has this concept of being very much in control in his envies, or when he has some interactions on camera with the opposite sex, that he's very much in control, that he's seductive. But in real life, how I see it in here in the cards, how does he flirt or how does he act when he's around someone that he likes? He acts very awkward. And probably he feels a disadvantage because it shows his interest shows. It shows that he likes someone, and because it feels like he gets anxious, he has the Nine of Swords as well. So the Knight of Swords is, and I think that the Nine of Swords, this card is a card that you have to analyze a lot, because I'm not going to give you details about this card in specific, but if you notice, there's like, there's like this couple here, and this is what you see initially, like there's, I believe, like this gentleman is like putting a necklace on this woman, sort of as a gift, but the Nine of Swords is all about, some challenging thoughts and when you feel a bit tormented. And this is the reason. Because it's not about these two. It's about the person that is witnessing this. There's a person in here that is looking very disappointed and shocked. Probably this person is someone that he likes, is someone that she likes, is her partner, is someone that she was getting to know, and she got them. She entered and she saw them. So she's very much like at awe. She's a bit shook. Like, what? What am I witnessing? Like, aren't you supposed to be with me? So the Nine of Swords in this case, it also shows maybe how fast, because he starts feeling so much, then he sort of gets a bit like nervous about it, and he's like, okay, but he starts to think about the worst scenarios. Okay, what if I do something wrong? What if this person misunderstands me? What if they don't like me? What if I take the first step and then, they are not who they say they are? I think that the Nine of Swords, that's why the Nine of Swords usually is a card that shows someone having nightmares, because it's about going back to the mind. So I think that even though initially he feels so much, probably in his mind, he starts doubting himself so much and thinking about the worst scenario. Thinking like, oh, maybe I'm not their type, maybe they don't like me the way I like them, I feel these things for this person, but I don't know, do I flirt with them? Do they like me? Will they accept me? Will they reject me? It's about thinking about the worst scenario possible. But yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune, I think that this can change. This can change. Definitely, the guy JK goes through these sort of changes of, there's something about him just being very flirtatious, and he probably meeting people and thinking like maybe he's looking for someone special, or he was looking for someone special, and when he sees someone that is his type, he's like, okay, I'm starting to see that this person could be the one. But then he starts thinking about what could go wrong. What if this person doesn't like me back? What if this person has a partner already? What if this person is hiding something from me? What if they are just they just like me because I'm famous? He starts to sort of like doubt his own value. But then, with the Wheel of Fortune, then he relaxes and then he starts to sort of have fun a bit more and open up a bit more. But I think that the initial stages is he feels very. I think that he's a guy that he feels very lonely, and like everything that he feels for a person that he likes or that he wants to flirt with, everything happens inside of him. The other person is not aware that he fears all this or that he feels that deeply. JK, it's someone that yeah, he looks confident, or he maybe he's polite, but inside of him, he's just like the rest of us. When he's around someone that he likes, he gets nervous. He doubts himself, he doubts the person. It's like, okay, do they like me back? Are they smiling to me? Are they being just nice? He sort of, I believe he needs some reassurance from the other person to act. I don't see him like acting. I think that he needs some information or background check done on this person, and for someone to be like, okay, you can move on safely. It's okay for you to keep finding this person attractive. They are sort of available. I don't know if he has someone that is like a wingman or someone that is a bit much more like flexible, and someone that is a bit much more like outgoing, and someone that does a lot, someone that is very friendly, and they just naturally make friends and connections with people. So he would do very well to go out with this sort of wingman, because if it's up to him, it would take a lot for him to make the first step, because he has so much inside of himself. Then this card of the oracle that says feels before act or before acting. It says, before taking any decision and embark with force, take a deep breath and get in contact with the way you feel. Feeling is the maximum expression of the soul. Don't leave it out. Don't allow emotions to be shadowed by mere reasoning. If reasoning and feeling don't match, then bet on feeling. There's a reason why your soul needs to go there. Take a deep breath, get in contact with what you want to resolve, and pull another card. Well, this is more like an advice for him to pull another card. But yeah, I think that this is something that it has to do with the Ace of Cups. This is a very personal message for JK, that JK is not here. JK is in another stage of his life. But if I had a client like JK, I would be like, listen to your emotions. Even if you feel overwhelmed by how emotional and how you start feeling things right away for someone, listen to your emotions. Like, your emotions are guiding you. Emotions and feelings and sensations is not a sign that you are weak or that there's something wrong with you. Actually, feeling and allowing yourself to feel and just stay in that feeling is going to sort of guide you about, like, okay, it's going to be like something that measures how do you feel around that person. If that person is good for you or if it's not good for you. Like, use the way you feel. Use your emotions. They are very wise. Like, they can guide you very well. And also pay attention when you don't feel something for someone the first time you meet them. It's because maybe they're not for you or they're not good for you. There's a reason why he gets so emotional initially. His emotions has some some information for him, you know. Yeah. It's just that probably he feels overwhelmed from time to time because it's something that is so personal. It's something that only him is going through this. So it's normal that he feels a bit like awkward and he feels like, okay, why am I getting all these feelings? You know, why am I getting so sensitive? Like he probably feels like, you know, like a bit awkward when there's a lot of people around him because he gets so in his feelings that he's like, okay, whoa, what am I feeling? Like I feel like, is this me or is this the energy of the room? You know, he definitely needs to protect himself energetically because yeah, he's very intuitive. Okay. I'm going to move on to Treasure Hyunsuk. This guy is much more confident. This guy, Treasure Hyunsuk. We start with the Two of Cups. So, I don't know, maybe for him flirting is very easy. Actually, and he has the Empress. So he definitely must love himself a lot. Like maybe for him it's easy to connect with his feminine side, and maybe he's popular with the ladies, and free of pentacles. So, so he's very successful actually. How does he flirt? He's just great at connections. I don't know. Maybe he has like a great, you know, like he just knows how to talk to females. Like he's just very confident, and he's just like there's something about him being very also harmonious. You know, there's something about him being very beautiful at the same time. Like a combination of I'm confident, but I'm also like very Venusian. So yeah, like I can be tough, you know, when there's a concept because I know he's the rapper. You know, he can also focus on his work, but then he can also be very sweet and actually be very attractive to women, actually. And here the card he got is avoid gossip. Avoid gossip. So I think that I think that this is very interesting because if this is the guy that you remember I pulled cards for him. I pulled for cards for him because I remember he said he had a comment about something and people were dragging him on the internet because he expressed his opinion about something. So here, like it says, avoid gossip. I think that probably there's also something about if he is very lucky with the ladies. I see that he's a very charming guy. Like actually, he could get any female that he wants because he's so confident, like, and he knows how to have this one-on-one connection where he makes the other person feel special. So I think that he does it effortlessly. He has a charm. He has like, even if you are like, oh, maybe he's not your type, like, oh, physically, or there's something about him that you're like, really? But the guy is very charming. He's very charming. He's very confident. He's very good at, if he has to make like if he has to take the lead in the connection, he will do it. And he will do it so naturally that it will not look like he's chasing someone, you know, that he's being creepy or he's just like following someone. He will do it like in a very, just very, cool way. You know, when he starts just talking to the opposite sex because he's so cool or he's so communicative or he's just so nice or he's always smiling or he's always like having this great chemistry with people. So for him to create great first impressions in person, he's really good at it. He's very good. And probably there's something about him, it's like he shows up and all the eyes are on him. He's like someone said, he's there's something about him having, like someone said, like main character energy. Yeah, the guy is effortlessly, like he is very charming. It's like he shows up and all the eyes are on him. He has that aura. He has that aura. Definitely, he has that aura. Um, and also he doesn't rush. He doesn't rush. He doesn't rush. It's like, yeah, I got it. I got the touch. When he likes someone, how does he flirt? He just loves himself very much. So if he's going to flirt with someone, he's going to try to look his best. He's going to work on his attributes. He's going to try to show his best side, his most positive side, his most abundant and prosperous side, his side of himself that is much more appealing, and he will always try to show that to 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 the person that he likes. But probably he has, he has a lot of, like, I believe that he has deep magnetism that just, like, if this is women coming to him, I think that he has a lot. He has a lot. Because he has that he makes people feel comfortable with him. It's like he makes you feel comfortable. Like you don't feel like there's something like weird. And also with the Three of Pentacles, the guy is very hardworking. The guy is very hardworking. He's this sort of like, there's something about him, like, yeah, him being a main character, but also he's just, probably the guy is even charming when he's working. He can flirt even working. He can flirt while he's producing something. He can flirt while he is, I don't know, attending an award show, or when he's performing, he can flirt at the same time. There's something about him being professional, and actually, I think that there's something about women sort of admiring his work ethic. If you notice, this person is like, showing off a bit, their power, their strength, and he has all these ladies looking at him. See? They're all admiring him. They are all admiring, oh, look how hard he works, and this is his another charm. This is another part of him being very charming. But yeah, with the card of avoid gossip, in here it says, to talk over and over energetically with judgment about that thing that perturbs us or just makes us feel unease it's not good for us. To complain even more. It's not about denying what is going on or not to talk about it, but it's about the way we are going to share this. To talk about our emotions with others, it makes us feel better. It sort of alleviates us. But it's better if we do it focused on finding solutions and not getting tangled with the issue. The energy follows the thought. That's why before talking to one person and talking to the other, giving more place to that hurt you, go back to yourself. Be hygienic with words. Try not to judge. You can share what is going on with you, always from a place of love and respect. So in here, basically, when it says avoid gossip, it has to do with sometimes I think that this has to do with people that they generally, or they had been wronged, or they had some issues in the past, and somehow when you talk to them, they're always talking about it. It's like they keep bringing it up, or they keep mentioning it. Oh, I had the worst luck. This happened to me. I had this issue with this person. I had this issue with the other one. They always bring me problem. Like, my life is a mess. Like, sort of complaining a lot. The person that is like a serial complainer, that everything that happens to them is awful. Like they don't have good news. They always talk to you, or they always remember, or they are always talking to you about, oh, that one time that I had an issue with this person and they done me wrong, and avoid gossip. It's not about gossip, because in here, I don't know how to correct this. I believe it's not gossip, but it's when you be selective about what you talk about. Because sometimes when you keep talking about the bad things or negative things that happened to you in the past, you only keep bringing more negativity. And sometimes people are tired of listening just to negative things. So it's like, in here it says be hygienic, like bring hygiene to your narrative, to what you share with others, to what you talk. It's like, don't talk about negative things. Focus more on the positive. Because probably this also has to do that if we think about flirting, you are not going to find attractive someone that complains a lot. Actually, you can be like very handsome, you can be very popular, but if all you talk about is problems and issues and the things that you don't like and the things that have been done wrong to you, like people just get tired and then eventually they just walk away from you. They sort of like let you alone. They leave you alone. They are like, okay, like, because I can have a conversation with this person because they're always bringing up the past or negativity or what was wrong, and in this is like, of course, that we can always validate that if you think that something bad happened to you, of course, no one is denying that it happened. But to talk about it over and over, it sort of saturates the other person that is listening to you. Or maybe the other person that is interested in you, generally. And they want to talk to you. They want to listen to you. They want to have a conversation with you. But if you keep bringing negativity and everything that is wrong, you are not leaving room for a good conversation to take place, or to talk about the now, to talk about what's available now between you and that person, especially if it's someone that you are interested in. Sometimes sometimes the words that come out of your mouth, if you can be very beautiful, but if all you say is just negative and you just negative, you are not going to be that attractive. Like, you are going to sort of repellate a few people. People are going to be like, yeah, thank you, I pass. Yeah, and also it's like it sounds like yeah, it's tiring to listen to negative all the time. It's like you at first you could be like, oh yeah, I feel bad that happened to you. I'm listening to you. I sort of understand like what you're saying. Like, I'm sure it must have been awful, but can we talk about something else? Okay. I'm going to move on to deal. Not anything with it. Okay, for EXO deal, how does he fare? 2024 edition. Okay, with Dio we start with the Hangman. 7 of Wands. And the World. And then from the Oracle, we have the keyword is new proposals are needed. New proposals are needed. So yeah, I think that with these cards, definitely starting with the Hangman, I think that, yeah, when it comes to flirting, I see Dio in a sort of pose. Like, probably the guy, we like, I don't know much about him, but I have observed his body language. He's a very chill guy. And I believe that in flirting, this is still his energy. I think that he choose is someone that he looks unbothered, like the guy choose in this position of the handman. He has the opportunity to observe the other person. Is like, okay, he prefers to not do much and just observe the other person, like sort of act like he's not interested, like he's a bit restricted. He's restricting his expressions. He's just there. But even when people are like, does this guy really like me? Because he seems very uncomfortable around me. I think that probably he's just fine. Like, even though he can look a bit uncomfortable and just awkward, there's something about him just feeling secure, taking this time to observe the other person. I think that definitely there's something about him just not wanting to flirt. He has the Seven of Wands, so I think that with the Seven of Wands, there's something about him sort of watching other people flirt. We see here a couple that is like, greeting each other with kisses and hugs, and then you have this person that is like, hello, can you move over? I want to get out. Like, I want to get off the train. Like, you are on my way. So I think that for him, it's a bit like heavy. It's a bit like yeah, I'm watching all these couples, all of them being very like lovey-dovey towards each other, like a lot of affection, like relationships happening, or just very emotional or affectionate people in front of him, and he sort of observes them, and he's like, yeah, I'm not interested in being like this. Like, if you enjoy being like this, like, like PDA, like everything on public, it's great. It's not for me. But yeah, he has the world. So I think that the guy definitely, with the world, I think that there's something about him slowly trying to make sense to um, what flirting is about. There's something about him sort of like moving on. He probably wants to change because the world is about a cycle being over. He's like, okay, like maybe I am being a bit rigid. I'm sort of like closing this cycle and I'm willing to start over. So I think that he could change his very detached attitude. Because there's something about, I don't know if you notice in here, the wall card, you have the sort of the men and the women, and you have a child in here. So there's something about this also symbolizing for me the wheel of life and how life advances, and how this couple is sort of sustaining this globe so the child can sit in top of it. So it's like a family dynamic. It's like, a legacy. Is like we are supporting the world for our child to be successful, to be at the top. So I think that there's something about he's very observant about relationships lately. Also, when I said, that here we have this couple being very loving, and him being also observing, being like a bit awkward because like, you are on my way, like you're interrupting me. I cannot get out of here because you're on the way. Can you stop doing this? It's awkward. Like, why do I have to witness this? But I think that he's thinking about relationships because either he's attending a lot of weddings or there's a lot of his friends having family. So he's like thinking about like, will I be a good parent? Will I be a good partner? Will I have like someone that I can have this great teamwork to sort of support my future children with. He sort of ambitions this. He wants this. He's someone that he's like, I can sustain the pressure. I can do it if I have the right partner. He's thinking about family. He's thinking about family values. He's thinking about like, okay, what kind of man I want to be, what kind of partner I want to be. So I definitely think that he's observing. He feels uncomfortable from time to time. He doesn't feel like he's like thinking about, okay, I'm going to flirt. But I think that there's something about he's observing what others are going through, maybe people from his age.
So there's something about him looking at them and admiring them and being like, oh, this is not that bad, actually, you know. And he's thinking about having children of his own. Um, so is it a very business-like approach for him? No, no. No, there's not pentacles in here, so there's not like business thing. Uh, yeah, it's just that he's not. It's like, I think that, and in here with this card that it says that more proposals are needed. I think that this is the key of the question. I think that the guy is open to flirt. The guy is open to build something with someone, but the right person hasn't come along. The right person hasn't come. This is why he's like observing that there's a lot of people that have chemistry, have families, they get married, they believe, they still believe in relationships, they still believe in creating families, they still support this. But for him, it's like, you know, I still haven't found the person for me. You know, so I prefer to be an observer. I prefer to be an observant of, you know, how these other couples do it. You know, the people that are dating, the people that have families and a lot of children. Like, I'm looking at them and I'm trying to sort of like observe from them, like how do they do it and how they do it to keep this being successful. You know, he probably, the business part or the calculative part of him is that he wants to have something, he wants to observe as much as he can because he wants to be successful, probably. So I see him like evolving. With the world card, I think that he's looking, he's sort of like getting ready to meet his ideal partner or someone that he really likes, but if the person is not, probably he doesn't even have a type. There's something about him not feeling that attracted. Probably he feels very apathic. But yeah, here that more proposals are needed, the card says. Get ready to change. Like, it's not get ready to change. It's like be willing, like adapt to the change. If you're tired of getting always the same results, change has to come from you. Allow yourself to think differently. Open yourself with a strong attitude to new experiences. Just with being reading and vibing with this, every cell of your body is changing the energy. Say yes to the possibility of new proposals in your life and open your arms to what's to come. Remember that in order to gain new things, you also need to acquire new attitudes. And everything starts from your mindset. So get ready to transform yourself. See, he has to transform his mindset. He has to allow himself to change. You know, definitely with the world card, there's some cycles that are closing. That he's like, oh, you know, I'm sort of like starting to reflect a bit more about relationships, you know, about connections, about, you know, what makes a connection successful. And he has to open up to changes. He has to change. He has to change. He has to allow change to happen. You know, he has to allow, he has to, and sometimes for us, for Capricorn, it's very hard to let change happen, you know, because sometimes we just prefer to things stay the same, you know, and we don't like change that much. But for him, it's like, okay, if you're tired, like the card is saying, if you're tired to get always the same results of you not feeling the chemistry with someone or not being interested, is because you need to keep searching. Keep looking. Keep looking. You will find the one. Keep looking. It's not a lost cause. But you also have to open to the idea of maybe meeting people from different parts or from different scenarios, from different, you know, like open the options. You know, do not stick around with the same group and expect, you always hang out with the same people and you expect someone new and exciting to come your way. No, you have to get out of your comfort zone and go out and meet new people, you know? It's just that sometimes because of work and because of obligations and also their lifestyle, it's not easy to like, okay, I'm going to sign to this club, and just start dating or start meeting strangers. I think that maybe for him it's a bit complex. He probably, is also worried about his image or he's worried about his own security. So it's not like he can go and sign up for this group activity with strangers. Okay, I'm going to continue with G idol Sejun. How does she flirt? Okay. Okay. Okay, for Sejun, we have Ten of Swords, the Sun. No, this is not the Sun. The Stars. The Stars in reverse. The Star in reverse, he came out. And Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Yeah, Sejun. And the word, the keyword of the oracle, she got the card of embrace your pain. So yeah, there's pain. Like I know that this is a dynamic about how do they flirt, but here with the Ten of Swords, I'm like, why does it feel like when this woman flirts some, or why does it feel like she comes from a very painful past? There's something about her flirting. I don't know if she flirted with the wrong person or she had a connection with someone from the past that really hurt her, and it hurt her possibility to be spontaneous when it comes to flirting. I feel like she feels a bit defeated when it comes to flirting. Like I think that she has the potential, or maybe she has always been this flirtatious person. But with the Ten of Swords, and also with this card of Embrace the Pain, definitely she comes from a very heavy energy when it comes to romantic experiences, or maybe, I don't know. And here we're talking about flirting, but I don't know if maybe in the past she had a very unpleasant connection with with relationships. I think that she was hurt before. I think that she was hurt before. And also with the star in reverse, I think that there's something about her not being able to shine after this disappointment that she had. I don't know if she flirted with someone or if she had like a flirtatious attitude towards someone that she cared about in the past, and this person like sort of like I don't know. I think that she could have been a bit traumatized by this person, like it's sort of like being like, okay, I will not do this anymore, or I will not act flirtatious with people anymore because I feel like I had my heart broken before. Yeah, with the star in reverse, I think that she keeps shining individually, probably as an artist, but there's something about her just not being 100%, her flirtatious self. Probably she can do it. She can do it like for her as a star. We have the star card. So her as a public image or a public persona, or someone famous, she does it for the fame. But maybe when it comes to flirting and maybe these intimate connections, she still feels a bit like she's not shining like she used to. She probably feels a bit moody, or she has some problems with her self-esteem, or there's something about her also deciding to not be that flashy when she likes someone, or when she wants to, when someone shows interest in her. Probably in the past she was very outgoing, like she was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to seduce this person because I like them and they like me. But I think that I think she was betrayed in the past by someone, and this person sort of like broke her trust a bit about like, okay, I feel like I cannot no longer be that flirtatious because I will get hurt again. But then we have the Queen of Cups. So I think that definitely she is this sort of heartache or this disappointment that she had in the past when it comes to, maybe it was a partner or someone that sort of hurt her ability to be much more flirtatious and sort of enjoying attention, I would say, male attention probably. With the Queen of Cups, I think that what she's learning with this to not be the flirtatious is she's learning to be much more like a Queen of Cups, like being much more emotional, much more sensitive, and also much more like intuitive. Not so much like showing herself as someone flirtatious, more like being someone that receives. It's like, okay, I'm not going to go and flirt with someone. I'm just going to stay here, be like water, like the Queen of Cups that is she's very contemplative, she takes her time. She's like the mother archetype, she's very sweet, she's very calm, she's very loving, and very protective. But also very sweet, So how does she flirt? She probably, like, instead of being like that aggressively flirtatious or provocative, she is the opposite. Actually, she is a Queen of Cups. She is much more, like, I think that she's much more emotionally mature now. And probably the way she flirts with someone is just having a very deep and meaningful conversation. Sort of, I would say, like being the mother of, her potential partner or her potential love interest, if she has someone. It's like the typical girl that she's like, oh, come, tell me your problems. I will listen to you and I will make like a very lovely dinner for you. And I think that this sort of heartache, sort of like, it allowed her to be a bit much more like, much more emotionally mature. Like, it's like, okay, I am much more than my image. I'm also someone that can listen, someone that pays attention to the person that is in front of me. Someone that wants to take care of the other person, someone that is respectful, someone that is very empathic, definitely I think that she has matured. She has matured. And probably she feels like much more connected with people that had already suffered in the past. Like, there's something about her, like, sort of feeling like a bit much more connected, not so much with the people that are flashy or that just have like this strong attitude. It's more like she loves more like the guy that probably is much more simple. But definitely she has like the mother archetype. I could see her like sort of wanting to take care of the other person. Like being very understanding, being very loving. She definitely is a queen. She is a queen. She has matured. She has matured, but also she's not that, I would say she's not that, like, I don't know if maybe when she was younger or in other circumstances of her life, maybe she was a bit much more aggressive when it comes to how she flirted. But now she's like, I'm in a different, I'm much more mature. Like, I prefer to have a great conversation with someone, to have a great report with someone, to have like this great feedback. You and I, we're sitting comfortably, in a very private place where we are listening to each other, where we are understanding each other. And I prefer that instead of going out to a club and just having like loud music and a lot of people screaming in my ear. There's something about her also becoming a bit much more of a homebody. But yeah, she changed. She has matured a lot. Then with the card of Embrace Your Pain, it says, give space also to what hurts. Pain is a way of life, and the instances of grieving cannot be shortened. On the contrary, as much as we try to avoid them, more generations can take time into being integrated this great pain. Um, there's only there's only one way for it to hurt less, is that it has to hurt as long as it takes. So it will allow us to integrate the pain faster and move on. We carry it we carry it the best we can. We look at it, we embrace it, and we move on to our rhythm. Ignore it is not the best option. So I think that in here it talks about grieving if she had lost someone in the past, or if she is grieving a past connection. Like, it talks about how, sometimes you think that you lost someone that was meaningful to you, and you think like, oh, okay, yeah, I already grieved that relationship, or I already moved on. Time has passed a lot, but actually, sometimes you find yourself again grieving, or you find yourself again not being able to move on. So there's something about her not being in a rush to sort of wanting to end the grieving process about a certain situation that she had in the past, that I believe that somehow like shaped her or affected her, that she has to embrace the pain, and that it will go away eventually when it's time. We cannot shorten grief. Sometimes when we are hurting, sometimes when we are dealing with some painful or some heartache, it's not something that we can program, that we can set up and be like, okay, like tomorrow, like this hour, I'm going to be over with this. No, sometimes it takes longer. Just let it flow, let it grieve as long as you need to. Let it grieve, and do not skip it. Do not skip it. Do not skip it. Yeah, yeah. Because if you do, you're going to be forced to face it again in another instance. But you're going to be shown that you are not healed, that you haven't already healed, that you're dragging that with you to a new scenario or a new potential relationship that you have. Sometimes grief is like this. Okay, for EXO Sehun, yeah, Sojun definitely has changed for the better. She has changed for the better. I think that she is much more present in her relationships. She's sort of transforming herself to a very mature and probably motherly kind of vibe. So I think that maybe for her, in order for her to not get hurt again, is probably that she's going to choose a potential partner that has sort of activates her need to be protective over that person, her savior complex, probably choosing someone that is a bit much more fragile or looks like they need of her help, someone a bit much more softer in character, because I think that she doesn't want to go through, maybe she had in the past an ex or someone that was abusive or someone that was very aggressive. So I think that this is why she has the Queen of Cups, because it's like, I don't want that masculine aggressive energy on me again. Like I want to attract softer partners, someone that I can take care of, someone that treats me nice, someone that is gentle with me, because she's feeling very sensitive. But she's also honoring her emotions and how she feels. She has transformed herself. She has transformed herself, but she probably is a bit fearful to, in her intimate connections, it's like, I don't want you to see me like this superstar. Or I don't want you to see me like the one that you see on the MVs. I want you to see me for the sensitive, real woman that I am. Without the flashing lights, without the makeup, without the accessories, without the bright colors, and the sexy concept. I want you to see me for the female that I am. Not for the star, like, oh, how she is when she is in a comeback or when she's at the concert, it's like, no, I'm much more simple person than this. When I'm in a relationship or when I show myself, when I'm meeting someone, when I'm flirting with someone, I'm just a woman. I'm just a woman that is looking for love. Simple as that. Okay. EXO Sehun. Okay, we start with, for EXO Sehun, we have the moon, the magician, and Ten of Swords. And then from the oracle, she got the card of giving more is not loving more. Or giving more is not loving better. It would be the right translation. Like giving more of something. I don't know why I get that. It could be like giving more gifts to someone or giving something, like, okay, I will buy you more of this. It's not being loving better the other person. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. So, okay, for Sehun, definitely starting with the moon card and the magician, how he flirts, I think that he loves. There's something about him loving the nightlife. I'm not saying like he loves like clubs or anything, but probably if he meets someone that he likes, there's something about the moonlight. There's something about what goes on during night. Probably he's not able to go out and meet people during the daytime. So there's something about the moon, the mysteriousness also of the nighttime. So I sort of see him like working. His flirtatious self is always during nighttime, and also with the magician. I think that the guy is very charming. I think there's something about the night, the shadows, and and how sometimes the night is sort of this accomplice or this accomplice of yours, where you hide certain things about yourself. So I think that he feels much more comfortable, like going out and just meeting people and being flirtatious with someone during nighttime. I think that he feels like he can maybe hide who he is. Like there's something about him not being able to, probably him being able to, sort of hide behind other people or just being in the middle of a crowd and people not recognizing him. And also with the magician, there's a lot of, I would say there's a lot of strings pulled. There's a lot of like premeditation about, when he goes out or when he goes and meets someone, there's a lot of strings being pulled. And I think that he's someone that he just loves to flirt. Like, I think that maybe this year, I know I read for him before, but with the magician, is like the guy is like, I can make anyone's dream come true. Like, whatever you want me to be, I will be. Like, so he's feeling very flexible. He's feeling very much in control about, like, when he flirts. He sort of adapts to the person that catches his eye. He's also like being a bit much more adventurous. Like, oh yeah, I like you, you like me. But then we have the Ten of Swords. So I think that eventually, when the day comes, when the lights are over, when the nightlife is over and the day comes, there's something about him sort of like it's not that he runs away, but I think that he just doesn't want to deal with the day after. There's something about him enjoying the mysteriousness and the atmosphere of what the night brings, probably having fun with a group of friends, just being with a lot of people, or just being with their friends and being with other friends, and just like, having fun with everyone. And I think that he's just can be very charming. But I think that at the next day, I don't see that the guy can be like, oh, I met this person, and I'm going to see them afterwards. It's like, no. When the night is over, he disappears. He sort of like runs away a bit. If you notice this, there's this person, like, sort of like, there's someone laying here, and he's like giving her a rose, and he's like sort of kissing her goodbye. But also the Ten of Swords, it represents, I don't know if you remember in the Rider-Waite, in the Ten of Swords, there's this person that is also lying on the floor with 10 swords stuck in their backs. And here, the woman is like, it looks like she's asleep, but she's actually, I think that she's like hurt. There's something about the Ten of Swords, like being hurt and being a bit like exhausted, like sort of like, like just exhausted. And I think that he's like, oh, I know that probably I will break some hearts or I will disappoint some people, because the day before I'm not going to reach out to these people. Like, there's something about him being like, I love the magic of the nightlife. I love what we have in the shadows. It was great. It was exciting. Like, I love it. Like, I also, maybe he also loves how in the night, or maybe at this, I don't know if this is like a secret spot or place, there's something about the anonymatus and him not, like, people not recognizing him, or actually hanging out with people that are not into K-pop maybe. So it's like, okay, he can be himself, he can have fun without strings attached, he can be like, there's no expectation about. I think that the guy definitely, when he flirts, it's like he's not looking for love. He's not looking to, get your number or your contact information. No, he's like, what we had was great. We had fun. It was nice, but I gotta go, because the magician is someone that is focused on themselves, and he just wants to have fun and be in the spotlight a bit. But also the moon card, that is the first card, is about like, I don't really know these people. Like, I'm here to have fun, so I have no expectations, because, like in nighttime, a lot of people can pretend that they are something that they're not. So there's also about him probably being flirtatious with people that he meets at the club or something like this, or at a very private party, but him just putting distance between these people afterwards, because he's like, I know, like, I don't know what your intentions are with me, but you are not going to get something from me, like, so definitely he sort of is like, I'm sorry if you get your heart broken, if you are disappointed, but you're not getting something out of me. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not the guy. I'm not that fool. I will, like, disappear. literally. I will disappear. I think that he also does it because when we start with the moon, I think that the guy definitely he knows that there's a lot of scammers or there's a lot of people that just they take advantage of the nightlife, like I said, the darkness, that there's drinks, that there's a very magical vibe. So you don't know what can happen in there, and he probably is a bit afraid, like he just wants to have fun, he wants to be flirtatious, probably having some drinks, and also gets him in the mood to be more fun and be much more flirtatious, because with the magician he definitely loves the attention. He loves the attention, but he's not going to do something about it. He's not going to be like, okay, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm going to do something about it. No, he just wants the experience, the excitement, having fun, talking to different people, but just being himself. It's all about him. And then the card that he got, that is to give more is not loving better. And here it says, do you feel like you have given a lot or given too much? Do you feel like you have ever given too much? It's time to recover a new point of balance. Remember that you can give what you have. And if you experience tiredness or you feel heavy or you feel a weight, it's because you need to take an instance for yourself and recharge energies before going back to give or try with other people. In relationships between pairs or with others, it's necessary that giving and receiving are balanced so that love flows in harmony. Before going back to giving, take an instance to feel better the situation. And only give what you have to give, no excess. It's time to take, to renovate, and to balance. So I think that it makes sense, and probably it has to do with him. It has to do with some past maybe experience that he had, because here with the Ten of Swords at the end of the reading, and we see this woman lying here like sort of like asleep, and he's giving her a rose, but I think that he could be the woman that is like laying in there, sort of like, I think that this card is sort of shows that maybe in the past emotionally he was the one that took the initiative, or he was the one that gave too much attention to someone, that maybe that person was an attention seeker, or they wanted to take advantage of him and they just made it things very awkward for him. And then he is a bit, this is why I feel like he's restricted. It's like, I don't want to go through that again, because I tried to, allowing myself to flirt, then allowing myself to go with the feeling, like get to know this person better, to sort of, have something outside the nightlife, and getting to know each other, and him feeling like he gave too much to the person, like he gave too soon. Maybe he trusted the person right away, and then he was disappointed. So I think that in this point, it's like he's much more focused on himself. With the magician, it's like, I'm pulling the strings here. I don't want more drama. I feel like I gave my heart out, or I gave my attention to this person, and she betrayed me, or she made me feel like she took something from me, and then she disappeared. Maybe the one that disappeared is the other part, not him. So I think that there's something about him sort of learning that, he has to be much more cautious about, okay, who do you trust? It's like, because I think that maybe at one point he got very carried away with flirting with someone and sort of like feeling like, oh, like this is mutual, like this is cool, it makes me feel good, and him relaxing and trusting and be like, oh, this person is fun, I like it, we get each other, this is fun, I want to know more about this person, I want to give this a chance, and that him giving too much and the person just taking advantage of him, or not reciprocating, or actually it could be that person disappeared, it could be, but I feel like he changed. he changed. He's like protecting himself. He's like, now he's like, no, I'm not giving anymore. He's very stubborn about it. So I think that it's going to take a while for him to learn to trust again. But yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on to okay, and Hypen Sehun. How does he flirt? The Empress. The Empress came out a lot today. It's very nice. I love the Empress. It's very interesting. We start with, for Enhypen Sehun, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Empress. So he's changing also. And Six of Pentacles. And then the card is the message of this oracle is stop resisting. That it sounds very. It sounds like a message that Sehun will get because he does look very resistive, like he resists a lot, like showing emotions or showing that he's like interested or that there's something that moves him very deeply. But yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress, I definitely see that he's changing. He's probably this year is going to be much more flirtatious. He's showing himself a bit more. He's going to show a bit much more himself. Also, his beauty, his more flirtatious side, more seductive side, you know, him being the Empress, I think that he's like, you know, I could make money with my image, you know, I could look better here, I could work on my body, I could work better with some things that has to do with my self-esteem, how I view myself, you know, and him embracing his natural beauty. There's something about him being very attractive, but I think that this year it has to do with him allowing himself to be much more flirtatious. Definitely, he does give me feminine vibes. So I would be like, if we have to think about how does he flirt, I think he just sits there and just be pretty. He's just pretty, you know. He's just beautiful. I don't see him like doing something to flirt, but I definitely see him like his body language could change this year. You know, could change a bit. Him not looking flirtatious, like he intentionally is flirting with someone, but I think that he's also like not, you know, backing down. He's not like walking away from attention. He's enjoying the attention. He sort of is like, oh, you find me attractive? Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. You know, like him being much more, him reconciling with his ability to attract the audience or attract the opposite sex and have all the eyes on him. You know, which I think that probably in the past he has, because of the card that he got, he had a very resistant attitude towards getting the attention of the opposite sex, or maybe, I don't know, if fans tell him that he's handsome or that he's beautiful or that he's sexy. There was something about him actually not entirely believing it. You know, it has to do with his self-esteem. But I think that this year, with the Wheel of Fortune, the cycle is changing, and you probably can see him like being much more in situations where he flirts with others. I don't know, I don't see him initiating it, but I see him sort of going along, playing along with it. It's like, okay, are you flirting with me? Okay, like, I will let it happen. Like, I will not, like, walk away. Like, I will try to not look awkward also. I will try to, you know, just act all cute and nice and feminine. And And also with the Six of Pentacles, there's something about him finally believing that, I don't know if this guy has some insecurities about his body, or there's something about him just in the past he wasn't able to see his real value. I don't know if he, I don't know about Hypen. This is why I don't know if maybe in the past he was sort of told that he wasn't that attractive, or maybe among the members maybe he wasn't the most like seductive one, or there's something about him like getting the attention but not being able to sort of believe it. It's like when you get the attention, you know that you're wanted, but you doubt that, okay, like I'm sure they prefer another member, not me. I'm sure they're talking about someone else, not me, because I don't know how to flirt. But in here with the Six of Pentacles, I see him like sort of like showing a bit much more of his flirtatious side, allowing himself to maybe talk more, express more, do more for the camera, do more to get more camera, maybe also engaging more with the opposite sex. But honestly, here we know, I think that it's not, this is not strange that there's a lot going on with Enhypen and the opposite sex. Like, we had the thing with the dancer, so maybe he sort of feels like, okay, I have to watch out if I have an interaction with the opposite sex because I don't know how the fans will feel about it. So there's something about him having to let go of that old perceptions and allow himself to just be free and just flirt with whoever you want. Like, you have the ability, like, do more, show yourself more. Like, also the Empress, we have her here, beautiful, like we said, like, allow yourself to be the main character. Like, actually, you are very beautiful. Like, you are very beautiful. You are very successful. I don't know if this guy has already signed with some brands or something like that, but he could be signed with some brands, like individually, because I see him going through some kind of transformation where he's like no longer acting that childlike or I don't think he's childish, but there's something about his body language changing and him getting very comfortable with being much more seductive. I don't see him like being seductive and seducting others, but I see him like him acting more like a siren, like, like you can be the flirtatious one, and I, from the other side, I will receive your attention. Like, I will play along with this seduction game, that maybe in another times I was a bit reluctant to do this. I was like, no, I don't want to feel here. I feel uncomfortable. Now it's like, no, now you're looking at me, now you're flirting with me, I will flirt back. So yeah, a lot of potential. Okay, the card that he got from the Oracle, he has the card of Stop Resisting. It says, although you want something else, this is what you got today. Although you wish something different, even though it hurts what it is, this is what is going on. And this is only going to change if you cease the resistance that this reality, because like everything is here to teach us something. That's why the key is to become friends with what it is. The more we deny something, the stronger it gets. Change can only be produced when we can integrate what is going on the way it is, because it cannot be any other way. When we really achieve to accept what it is, then we start making a transformation possible. Yeah, I think that it has to do, and there's something about it that I got the vibe as well. It has to do that there's some, with the card of Stop Resisting, it also gives me this, like, I think that he's not 100 satisfied with his life, like his lifestyle. Maybe it has to do with being famous. We were talking about being flirtatious, maybe being, being seductive with someone that you like, allowing yourself to be more expressive. And I think that he's like, there's something about his energy being like, I could be more flirtatious, or I could be much more open to be much more flirtatious, but the reality that I have today, I cannot do it. I cannot do it because in these conditions, in the way I'm living my life right now, I cannot do it, even if I wanted to. So, so there's something here with this card that is sort of giving him the advice that, okay, this is the reality that you have today, but don't complain about it. Just embrace it. Like, yeah, okay, maybe today you don't feel the freedom, or you don't feel that sort of comfortable to show yourself or to show another parts of yourself because you think that you will not be accepted, that you will stand corrected, that some people are going to complain, that there's going to be some backlash on the internet, that something negative is going to happen. But there's something about this, like, it's like, you know, don't give it like the, don't add the adjective that, oh, this reality sucks, or, what I'm going through right now sucks, I could be doing this, but instead I'm doing this. Like, don't complain. Okay, today you have this to transit, you have this reality, but tomorrow we can change. Tomorrow maybe you will have much more opportunities to show yourself and not feel that restricted, not feel like you have to watch out. You have to watch out for every little move that you do. Because definitely there's something about him like, I'm not that expressive, or I'm not that lovey-dovey, because from my experience, the more you show, the more criticism you get. So he sort of is right about that. There's a bit of hypocrisy in that. It's like, okay, we want you to be sexy, but we don't want you to be sexy with this and this and this, sort of watch out. Like, so yeah, it's tough to be them sometimes. Yeah, it comes with a job. This one is called the Romantic Tarot. Romantic Tarot. This part is I color it myself. It doesn't come like this. I color it myself. Yeah, exactly, Akira. It's like we want you to be sexy when it's convenient to us, not when it's your choice. Yeah, exactly. That's the feeling. That's the feeling. Oh my God, I'm tired. Samara was right when she said, you're going to get tired. You're going to get tired. Yeah. Yeah, I'm drinking mate. Yeah. But it's also this deck. This deck, this oracle is very profound. And this oracle is very, like, it gives very like meaningful messages, very deep messages, very personal messages. This is why it doesn't have to resonate with what you think that you know about your idol, because these are very personal messages. The oracle is very specific, like it's like a slap in the face. This oracle is like a wake up call. Definitely. It's the kind of oracle that is not like a keyword, you know, it has a message. You have to work. This is why these are not pulled randomly. This is like the advice that they give you, you're supposed to reflect on this and you're supposed to work on this. Of course, that we cannot ask the idols to do this because, you know, I'm not reading for them personally. But what it says, you know, the the messages, it has to do with maybe some aspects of themselves that they had been working on or that they have to work on and improve in their personal connections. Idols do get frustrated in their connections. They do have challenges in their connections. They can like also have heartache. They can have disappointments. They can feel lonely. I mean, they are human. They are not machines. You know, they are not dolls. So even though we see them shining and smiling, just being very funny on camera, it doesn't mean that they didn't go through some, you know, that they don't face like rejection or, you know, a heartache or it I don't know, a betrayal. A lot of things can happen for an idol. Not just the pressure of being in the industry and being who they are, but also that their connections are not the most successful ones. You know, they can have a sort of, they can have relationships, but they can also fail. You know, they can also fail. You know, if idols had like the opportunity to live a healthy love story with their childhood sweetheart, or, you know, their love from high school, or, you know, we would have more idols getting married, and we don't. So this is why when people ask about like, who are they going to marry? Who are their future spouse? I'm like, really? Are you asking that? When are they going to have time to form those sort of connections if they are devoted to the craft, or they are devoted to the fans, or they are devoted to creating content, if they are devoted to always be on tour, to always like doing concerts and comebacks and creating songs and creating a lot of things, and also fighting with their family members that their family or the company is not going to steal money from them, or just, sort of like being abusive with them while they are working, because and also having the stalkers, having the fans, a lot of people claiming things, asking for things. Relationships take effort, they take time, they take a lot of efforts. Relationships and a marriage or a couple, a relationship is like another job. It's like another job. It's not easy. You have to put the effort, you have to be there for your partner. Yeah, being an idol forces them to sacrifice a lot. Yeah, yeah. And the ones that decide to actually like to be like, okay, I'm going to have a family, I'm going to get married, I'm going to start my own family, and I'm letting you know that I'm doing this, they get the backlash. They get the backlash for that decision. It's like, why are you having a family? We are your family. Yeah, it's all fun and games to ask about flirting, but you always get a glimpse of the real story. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's just that being an entertainer or being a celebrity or being is like you expose yourself to be judged. Like you can also like have the love and appreciation, but the day you decide to be selfish and be like, guys, I want this for myself, it's like, no, no, what about us? What about us? It's like, how come you make a decision about your life without asking us? Like, no. Yeah. It's tough, guys. It's tough. And also the companies are so shady. It's like they support you as long as you are good for them. Like you're making the money, you're making the numbers. But if you start like putting your priorities somewhere else because you fell in love, because you are, like, I'm going to be a little late to practice today because I want to see my girlfriend or I want to see my boyfriend, it's like they will make it, they will make it hard for you. They will make it a living hell of it. And also being surrounded by a lot of toxic fans. How can they even have healthy view and being able to choose healthy partner? Yeah. They must be scared also. They must be scared. How do you know? Like, if you think about it, put yourself in the skin of an idol. How do you know that that person that claims that they love you, they really love you for who you are? How do you know? If you have to break up or if you have to end the relationship, they are not going to sort of blackmail you and expose you to the press. Like everything is cool while it's in the honeymoon phase and we get along and we are, attracted to each other and everything is cool and you make me feel special. But yeah, then when I start seeing that the relationship is not going the way I want to, there comes the betrayal. There comes the person showing their true colors. Because like you have to be I believe that you have to be a very specific kind of person that you can endure dating a celebrity. For example, in this case, we're talking about an idol, that an idol cannot be like spilling the tea about like, guys, I'm in love. I'm dating this person, this girl, this woman, or this man. They cannot do it. They cannot do it. They cannot do it. Not only because of the fans, but if they're part of the group, do you think that the other members will be like happy? So I don't know. I think that it must give you a lot of like trust issues because you don't know who to trust. We've seen it, guys. Even family members betrayed idols, stole money from idols, took advantage of their fame. Family members. You have to have a very close cycle of people that you can trust. And even then, like, I believe you have to wonder every day, like, do they really like me? Like, do they really support me? Or, like, I think that when fame is involved in the equation or when money is involved in the equation, it's the same as family fighting for money. You know, that's why some people, there's some saying that says that you don't mix business with family, you know, because things get nasty. Things get nasty pretty quick. And when one of them is famous, yeah, celebrity status money attracts lots of people for many wrong reasons around them. It's often those closest to celebrity who betray them. Yeah, yeah. No wonder so many idols are hermits. Yeah. And we have seen it. Like, actually, there's some idols that had shared their experiences with some family scamming them. Or, like, do you think that these people that are like, oh, yeah, my cousin, my uncle, my, you know, I have this coffee shop, I have this, I don't know, this hair salon, I have, you know, and I know so and so from this group. And they know it's marketing. They know. That's why I'm not a fan of like people that are like, oh, I'm going to go to, you know, this family member of my bias that has like this coffee shop. I'm like, why? I know, because I'm going to support them. Why? Is it your bias? Is your bias cafe? No, but it's his family. But do you support the family? Like, you know, like, just stay, support the artist, support the artist. Don't go, don't expand. You know, don't. I love it that Fluffy so fast. Thank you, Fluffy. Thank you, Fluffy. These hours are crazy for the. Yeah, because usually, you know, the people that join and that leave those random messages, they are not part of the community. And I believe that the ones that are part of here are usually us, that we're always talking and interacting, and then there's others that just watch. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to start again with NCT 127, their intimate fantasies. NCT 127, their intimate fantasies. Can you give me the names, please, guys, again? I don't want to miss someone. Yeah, this happened to Kai fans, went to his sister cafe and still took pics when he asked not to. Yeah, it's like, we understand that you love him, but just, you know, let them be, you know, like, please. Now that I know I can block these guys, I'll do it right away. Yeah, yeah, definitely do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. We already settled the dynamic in here. So, you know, of course, new people are welcome uh, to interact. Of course, there's no problem, but, you know, we sort of like have this instinct. Like, I also, when I see certain people, I'm like, I know you're not part of the community. Jaehyun, Mark, Doyeon, Here we go again for the citizens. Taeyeon, Johnny. I'm laughing already about Jungkook. I'm laughing already. Why? Why Jungkook makes me laugh? His energy is so contagious. Like, why does only thinking about him just makes me laugh? But I have this. This guy is a comedian, definitely, because I think writing down his name just makes me laugh. I don't know. It's just hilarious. Hilarious. The power he has. Okay. Their fantasies NCT 1 to 7 all over again with this new deck that I have. This erotic tarot deck. Jungkook is back into yeah. And also it's his birthday very soon, I believe. The 19th, I believe, right? His birthday, the 19th. SM must be counting pennies right now because of all the birthdays that they had. Okay. I have a cousin that her birthday is the 90th, and actually she looks very Aquarius. She looks very Aquarius. Okay. Oh. NCT Dream the other week. Okay. Jaehyun. Intimate fantasies. Oh wow. Are you feeling lonely, Jaehyun? The hermit? The world? 10 of Cups. Thank you, Fluffy. I think that he's there's something about honestly when it comes to Jaehyun's fantasy, we have the hermit in here. So I'm like, why does it feel like the guy is like his fantasies are a bit like he's restricting himself when it comes to fantasies. He probably is not feeling he's not feeling in the mood. But with the wall card, there's this potential, like sort of like a cycle coming to an end, and he's going to start having fantasies again. But with the hermit, I think that there's something about him feeling a bit stuck, like when it comes to, like he's not talking about his fantasies, he's not talking about his desire. Probably he's like, if he has some urges, if he has like some desires with his body, he should just fix it on his own, and then he goes to sleep. Sehun has been practicing abstinence this year. Yeah, there's something about him like feeling like I'm better off alone. Like, and also with the world, it can be that probably, if he sort of watches some content that it has to do with sex, probably it's something that is worldwide or it has to do with other parts of the world. But him sort of isolating himself, it's like he's not Um, there's something about with the world. I think that also maybe what he fantasizes about is outside of the world that he knows. Maybe his fantasies it has to do with more a Western kind of side, not so much with the Korean, the typical Korean man fantasies or fetishes. You know, there's something about him actually um, getting out of the box. You know, it's like, you know, I don't, what you guys find sexy or what you guys find like a fantasy in I believe it has to do with this, the kind of women that he watches or that he observes and that he finds attractive. He's like, you know, I'm opening my mind to different maybe different ethnicities, different parts of the globe. Maybe he finds some beauty or some women's body or shape that is from another countries, another part of the world. I think that he's not like consuming content or he's not fantasizing with the women that he sees on the street or the women that he sees every day, even if it's famous, you know, maybe they're not his type, they don't get him, they don't attract him. There's something about him feeling a bit apathic also about sex. Maybe he just I think that he's very like he's the guy that he observes. Definitely he's very visual. But I think that he wants, I don't know, like a voluptuous woman or someone that he looks like he sees someone's body shape like that is a bit like, you know, curvilineous, I would say, and he just his eyes goes through that, you know, he loves that. He just doesn't like where he is right now, you know, where I don't know, maybe he doesn't like a skinny woman, you know, there's something about, and maybe he doesn't find that sexy someone that is very pale, you know, there's something about like, okay, you are so pale, like I don't find this attractive, like I cannot fantasize with this, I cannot, like, or maybe someone like looking like a child or looking very fragile is like, I don't find this sexy, you know, I don't I don't find your body sexy, you know. Oh, okay, thank you, Chetan. But because then I see him like once he expands or he travels, I think that his fantasy is to go overseas, to travel more. He wants to travel more maybe when he's on tour or when he's visiting different countries. He feels the heat, like he feels the attraction, you know, he starts feeling the fantasy, he starts feeling the drive. Because then we have the 10, the Mars in Pisces, the 10 of Cups. So there's something about him connecting with his sensitivity and him being able to finally enjoy and feel the need to fantasize, you know, because Mars in Pisces is much about fantasies. It's like, okay, but he needs to be attracted. He needs to. It's a mix of emotionality, like he definitely wants someone that makes him feel something, you know. He probably finds very attractive someone that laughs a lot, that is very funny, someone that is very outgoing, someone that is very confident in their skin, you know, and he's like, wow, that's hot, you know, that's hot. And also with the world card, someone that is open-minded, definitely someone that is open-minded. Yeah, the lovers. Yeah. Yeah, he's looking for his muse. There's something about him looking for his muse. He's like, I'm feeling romantic. I'm like, I want to look for my muse. Because in the Six of Swords, I got this man like sort of painting, painting like, so doing a painting of a woman, of a naked woman. So he would be like, okay, I want to paint my lover's body. You know, I want to create art with her body. I want to remember her body. You know, like he's like this. Yeah, that's, yeah. But actually, I'm a bit like curious why he has the hermit, and I think that Marushka said it, like something about him being in this hermit mode all this past year. Um, and probably, guys, if we start to think about Jaehyun, probably, he had a situation with the stalker. The guy sometimes he looks like he's a bit fed up, like of certain things. He doesn't express that much how maybe tired he is of certain situations. But I think that the guy definitely, maybe he's just having a hard time connecting with like a real fantasy, like I want to fantasize, but I feel like I cannot find the kind of muse or the kind of woman that takes my breath away. Someone that is like, wow, someone that just like he cannot help but to look at that person. He wants someone that makes him turn his head, like this, like grabs his attention. And I think that for him, it's not just about looks. It's about he wants someone that enjoys life, someone that has like a strong passion for life. Someone that has this excitement and he's like, wow, that confidence is so hard. You know, um, okay, Mark. Let's go with Mark. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? The, no, the guy that touches the woman with the stick. Go Google that king, guys. If you haven't watched it, go Google it. Is the Manara Tarot deck. Go Google Manara Tarot deck, King of Pentacles. If you haven't watched it, yeah, Google it. It's hilarious. Google that image. Well, at least he's in power. I mean, from a distance, but he's like, oh, you know, I was admiring you. I knew it. I was waiting for him. Okay, we start with the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups. So the guy is a bit restrictive yet. He has desires, but sometimes he wants to walk away from them. But then we have the King of Pentacles. The man touching a woman with a stick. Yeah. And yeah, we have the Nine of Wands. So yeah, I think that we are getting some fantasies in here. We are getting some fantasies. First of all, with the what is it? With the Eight of Cups, there's something about him still, because the Eight of Cups in here is the Saturn in Pisces. So there's something about him probably being a bit restricted. Still, we have Saturn energy. So him being like, I from time to time have desires, but there's something about him sort of like refraining himself, or it's not refraining himself. He's like giving up on paying attention to this. He's like, I've given up on desires. I actually don't have those desires. But we have the King of Pentacles in the middle. So I think that either he is feeling curious about someone's body, or he had been like watching or observing someone that he's like, okay, yeah, this is my type. This is my type. This is the one that I would be like watching, like it could be someone virtual, or it could be someone that he had seen. I think that Mark also loves beauty. Loves yeah, yeah. And but the King of Pentacles is the man with the stick. So he's like, I'm curious about your body. Like, I love the way you move, or I love the way you look, under the dress, or I'm curious about, what is it under the dress. I love the way you dress. I love your style. I think that you are sexy. But he hides, because he's behind the bushes. So there's something about him. And also, if you notice, the man is literally a creep. The man is a creep. He's all in suit. This is very earth element. He's all serious. He looks old, and also he's wearing a suit. So definitely it shows you that he's like a businessman. It's someone that he sort of see like this is like a transaction. This is like, okay, I'm watching you because I'm you're giving me pleasure. But thank you, Hope. But at the same time, it's like I'm doing it from a distance. So please, like, don't tell people that I'm looking at you like this. I don't want others to know that me, the successful, the successful, or the excellent, or the this hardworking Mark Lee is actually looking at you like this. He's sort of like I don't do those things, but actually I do. But I see much more like with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is the Moon in Sagittarius card, and in this card there's this man that is standing there, and and a woman is touching him. So, and is pleasuring him. So I think that probably this is part of his fantasy, to be in a random place and someone just like being like hiding somewhere, and just someone touching him in there, and doing it like in a hallway or somewhere that no other no other people can pass or just like see them. But it's like, she initiated it. She started touching me there. I actually like, I didn't initiate anything, because I am all serious and proper. I am the King of Pentacles. I don't touch people. They touch me. They provoke me. So it's something about him, like feeling. I don't know why it gives me. This is very Leo vibes. Like sort of him, like being this king in his castle, and him being like, I'm just like here, and she appeared and she seduced me, and I don't know, but probably the good thing is that I see a fantasy. I see a fantasy scenario. He probably has the fantasy of someone pleasuring him in a hallway, or in a very like hidden place, and him be like, whoa, like, where did you come from? But thank you. Like, you relieve my stress. I'm thanking you. This was unexpected. This was wild. I would have never done this if it wasn't because you initiated it. Because in the card, in this Nine of Wands, is more like, she did it. Like, I wanted it. I actually had fantasies about it, but I would never initiate something like this. Or it seems like he's like, I would never ask someone to touch me there, or to caress me in that way. Like, no. But in here, it's like this very fiery and outgoing woman that she's very confident, and she knows what she's doing, and she's like going straight to that part and doing the job. So yeah, this is his fantasy. He could actually get addicted to that. Like I think that he just loves the part maybe of losing a bit of control. It's like, you know, the other one made me lose control because I wouldn't do this, you know. So yay, a fantasy for Mark. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, thank you. But he's all proper and serious. He's proper and serious. So if this is his fantasy, he will never like admit it. Like he will never admit it. He will never admit it. Like this is something that is very hidden in his unconscious because he's like, I don't do those things. I don't do those things. But you know, this is the reality. He's a man and he is a fire sign. So definitely the body is going to act to certain stimulus, you know? It's not, no, we're not talking about marriage here. We're talking about, you know, responses, physical responses. Finally. Yeah. It's just that I think that for Mark, honestly, I think that that kind of fantasy, it sort of saves a lot of time because the guy is busy. So it like it would be like sort of a fantasy where you're like, okay, let's get in here and you know I will work on this and then you're done, we're happy, and then you can move on and keep working. You know, for him it would be like, well, this was productive. I save a lot of time. I can go back to work. Very fire sign, very quick. Okay, Doyo. I wonder what those little like little stickers are. I never seen one. Like and they change the stickers. Okay, Doyoung. Wow, this is the first time I'm seeing this. Okay, Doyoung. Five of Swords. Well, this is very Doyoung. 10 of Pentacles, and this is very crowded. The 7 of Wands. A lot of nurses in here. A lot of nurses. Okay. First of all, I think that I don't know, Doyoung feels always very tragic. There's something about him starting with the 5 of Swords. Is like he feels like, you know, that probably feeling the attraction or feeling desire for a woman is like it's like a torture. It's like I die when I'm with her. You know, she takes away all my willpower. She takes away all my, like, I suffer for her. I suffer for how much I want her. You know, I think that he definitely feels like a martyr. He feels like the martyr. He's like, okay, the more I want her, the more I feel like she's torturing me. Like, I don't know. I think that he definitely has the fantasy of someone that is very unapproachable, like someone that is out of his league, someone that he can observe, you know, someone that also is not interested in him, someone that is very busy building their own empire, like working on themselves, that they are like very much independent, like they don't need him, they don't even acknowledge his existence, and he's like, wow, that's the woman I fantasize about. The woman that is not about like you being like, you know, revealing affects and you wearing something fancy. He's more about like, I want her to torture me. Like I want to beg for her love. Like I know she doesn't know that I exist. She doesn't know I have this desire. but she is my fantasy. She is my fantasy. Like I just see her sitting there, and I'm just like, you know. Also with the Seven of Wands, also his fantasy is to, like, he could have a fantasy of doing it with different females. But I think that he just wants to be pleasured by, like sort of receiving it, because in here we have nurses. The Seven of Wands, we have nurses that they are like all over a guy that is in bed. So I think that there's something about, like, okay, from one side I have a woman that she's out of my league. Like I consider that she doesn't acknowledge my existence, she doesn't want me, but I want her, and I watch her, and she's my ultimate fantasy. But then I also know that, my fantasy is also to have a lot of like females like sort of pleasuring me, and I am in bed, and I am like sort of like they are pressuring me, like, the attention that this person doesn't give me. I know that I have another 7 women available to pressure me if I just wanted to. So he has this duality, this duality of thinking about the one that doesn't pay attention to him, and also thinking that he has probably a lot of women that, I don't know if they are like, whatever you need, I can give it to you. Like, I can help you. I will be honored to help you, and maybe it has to do, with fans, that the guy is, well, he is a celebrity, like he is an idol. So there's something about him being like, a lot of people want me. I'm wanted by a lot of women, but you just don't want me, So he goes through this sort of martyr kind of mindset, thinking about the one that just like tortures him because she's beautiful, because she's unattainable, because she's like out of his league. And his fantasy is like, actually, like, if I wanted, I could have like 7 women with me, all for myself. I could also fantasize about that, because that's also my fantasy, that I have women, and I could have as many as I wanted to, if I wanted to. Um, yes, tragic man. Yeah, the Suho card. Not the harem doyum. The secretary card. Yes. No, the nurse is another one. The nurse is the 7 of Wands, and it's like a guy that is in the hospital bed, and there's a lot of women or surrounding him, like sort of working on him. So he's like, like I also would have fantasies about all these women that could die to be with me and pleasure me, and like he has that. Yeah, I think that in his fantasies, he gets frustrated with himself. I think that he has a fantasy with this type of female that makes him suffer. But at the same time, he's like, like he's talking to himself. Like, this is not something that he would do. But he's like, I could have many if I wanted to. Like, you're no one. Like, he's sort of like, oh my. It's like he fights with himself. He fights with his own fantasies. It's like he probably regrets desiring this kind of female. He's like, why am I doing this to myself? If she is out of my league, if she doesn't acknowledge me, if she doesn't value me, like I have no chance. Why am I fantasizing with someone like this? When I have other more passionate people that are more eager to be with me. Yeah. Okay. Sehun. Okay, Sehun. Knight of, this is a Virgo card. Knight of pentacles. The chariot. This is the chariot is a Cancer card. And again, the Five of Swords. So another one that is, I cannot show her. I'm going to, oh my, I will have to restrict this video. I will have to restrict this video. I show her, I didn't know. Okay. It's very interesting because in the middle, I don't know why the chariot gives me Leo vibes. Yeah, but the chariot, because the chariot is like a woman sort of like riding a camera. So I'm like, the chariot doesn't give me Leo vibes, the Cancer vibes. It gives me Leo vibes, about yeah. Like, I want us to get on film. I want us to get on camera. Like, I want us to, maybe his fantasy now is to, film each other. Yeah. But also the Knight of Earth, the first one is also a very Virgo card, and it talks about the very devoted lover, that he's much more, probably he's much more like more focused on like, okay, am I going to do all right? Like, what is she going to think of me? Is this going to be okay? Like, I want to make sure that everything is perfect. Like, I have to work on this. Everything has to be perfect because that he's a very devoted person. I think that he also probably worries a lot about how he looks, and he works on his body, and also probably he worries about like, okay, where are we going to go? It has to be somewhere fancy. It has to be a place that is practical, a place that has everything that we need. He's very strategic in this sense. But yeah, I think that also with this camera situation with the chariot, I think that there's something about him wanting to have this fantasy of filming him with his special someone. At least this is what is now. But then with the Five of Swords, I think that also he has a fear of exposure. And I guess that this is something that maybe, if we think about someone that is famous, if you record yourself or if someone has access to their recording, you can lose a lot. So I think that probably he feels a bit guilty about having this fantasy. He's like, I would never be able to have this fantasy because what if it gets leaked? I think that there's something about him probably thinking like, oh, this would be so cool if we would like record each other, if there's be some filming. But at the same time, he's like a bit disappointed. He's like, it could get very, very ugly all of a sudden. It can get very bad. With the Five of Swords, there's this fear of regret. It's like this would turn out very bad actually. So I think that his fantasy would be to do it in front of a camera. But at the same time, I think that he probably has a bit of trust issues. He would be like, but I would never be able to do this in real life because what if he gets leaked? So there's something about him also with this Virgo placement, and this air placement. There's something about him probably overthinking a lot his fantasies, and overthinking every little detail that he has. Probably him being like, I have this small fantasy in the back of my mind, but I will never be able to do that because my job, because of my job, and this is not okay, and him worrying about, what the audience could think, and also, how he could lose a lot. So another one that has trust issues, definitely. Yeah, it's like he has that fantasy, but he sort of like pushes it away from his imaginary, I would say. Okay, Johnny. Oh, no, free. Only free. Okay, the sun, the the hermit, ace of wands. So yeah, another one that he is like, he goes through moments where he's like, let me be when it comes to um, his fantasies. With the hermit here in the middle, it's like he has a lot of fantasies, because with the sun, I think that there's something about him like not hiding that he has fantasies, and that he probably even is, I don't know if he has ever talked about it or he's very open about it, but there's something about him being like, I do fantasize. Actually, like I like fantasies. Like, I think that they make me feel alive. But with the hermit, there's a lot of restriction as well. So I think that probably he's also going through a period where he fantasizes, but then he doesn't fantasize. But he has a queen of wands in here. So I think that honestly, his fantasy is this very open-minded a woman, this very fiery, passionate partner, someone that is very wild, someone that he can try anything with this person, and someone that is very passionate, and that, because with the hermit, I think that he feels very lonely, like there's something about him feeling a bit lonely in this aspect, even though it starts with the sun. So there's something about Johnny also, like acknowledging that he is a passionate guy himself. Like he definitely, he feels very proud of his desires. He doesn't hide it. But I think that with the hermit, he can go through some mood changes or something. There are moments where he's like, I really don't want to think about sex. I'm not in the mood. I think that he puts so much maybe energy, vital energy on the stage or on his public persona, that maybe when it comes to what he does behind closed doors or in the bedroom, he feels a bit apathic, or he feels a bit lonely, or maybe he just doesn't have someone that can really, like, make him feel passionate. Like, okay, like, help me fantasize about you. Help me, like sort of like motivate my mind. Help me in that sense. But here with the Queen of Fires, definitely he has a type. This type is very passionate. So I think that he definitely, I don't know if he had met or he had seen this person. So there's something about him probably thinking like, okay, my fantasy is this very strong woman, maybe someone with a lot of experience, someone very passionate, someone that is willing to explore like different scenarios or different poses or something like that. Someone very fiery, a fire sign all the way. Someone, he needs a fire sign, definitely. In this case, in fantasies, I think that in fantasies, he probably needs this very confident woman. He needs this because he had been feeling a bit apathic when it comes to desires. He had been feeling a bit. With the hermit, it's like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. I'm feeling a bit. Okay, Jungkook. Okay, Jungkook. this is, oh, this looks. This is reminds me a lot of what I read for what I read for Mark about him just finding himself in a situation like whoa, like, because there's another woman in here, like sort of taking the lead, sort of exploring him. But this, his eyes, you have to see this. Wait. See his eyes. He's like, he's like, whoa, wait. Uh, Queen of Pentacles. Well, he has a type now. Ace of Swords. This Ace of Swords I can show. Ace of Swords. His face, yeah. Well, his fantasies, I think that there's something about Jungkook with this queen of like, I think that if we think about the earth element, that it has to do about the body, and often it has to do with touching, and with feeling the body. I think that Jungkook's fantasy is to be touched, and I think that in this, because it's an earth element, this doesn't have to do with, having to be intentionally erotic, like you're touching him because you want to pleasure him. No, it could be just a simple caress, or caressing him, or just touching him, or just massaging him. It doesn't have to be there. It doesn't have to be sexual. But for him, I think that he longs for touch. He longs for, hugs, the warmth of another body. I think that the guy definitely, he wants to be touched. Like, he's a very affectionate person. He probably feels like he's not that reciprocated when he probably doesn't allow himself to touch others. And maybe if we're thinking about, how they have more interaction among the same sex, or between friends. They are very affectionate, they are very loving, they hug each other, they hold, they even, like, they are very affectionate. But when it comes to the opposite sex, there's something like, no, remain in your line, don't be disrespectful, don't touch people, don't be like that, like, don't stare too long, like, don't, there's a lot of restrictions. So I think that for him, the fantasy, it will be just to be able to touch a woman's body. And with the Queen of Earth, definitely he also has a type, that the type is a very, someone very voluptuous, someone that has a lot of shape, someone that probably has a darker tone of skin, someone that looks very voluptuous, someone that looks very abundant, that has like a lot of curves, someone that maybe has, also, very generous breast, like it reminds me of a very, like the woman from the Amazona, this very, it's not about wild, but I think that he just loves the woman body that is so generous. The earth element, it also lets you know about you showing what your body can do, and you not being ashamed of it. Probably there's something about skin. He wants a skinship. He probably feels a bit like he could have these moments where he cannot help it, and he gets a bit excited when he touches someone, because he's very sensitive like this. And also I think that the guy is very lonely. Like, honestly, like, I think that he just wants that human touch. He wants the warmth of another body. This is his fantasy. It's very simple as that. It's not that specific. Also, the Ace of Swords is like, I want someone that I can communicate with. I want someone that we can talk about how we feel, or I can tell them what I feel when I see them. I want to be able to express myself. Like, I want them to talk to me, and I want to talk to them. So yeah, it's not that creepy, but I feel like he's a bit innocent in this sense, because he's like, wow, like I shouldn't get that aroused, when someone comes very close to my skin or to my personal space. But he gets a bit like, because I think that he craves touch. There's something about him craving touch, and he just wants that, he wants the warmth of a body, he just wants that. And it's very cute. It's very cute, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Just that you give him a small bit of attention, and the guy's already in love. But he just wants to, and probably with the Ace of Swords, there's something like maybe having a, I don't know why I get like someone that is older and more experienced than him, and that person asking him how he's feeling, if he's enjoying he has that fantasy, he has that fantasy of having, not just go straight to the doing. It's more like, can we talk about it? Like, as we are in this process, like, do you enjoy this? Like, how do you feel about this? He would be like, wow, like a very, very emotional. It's not, I think that it's more about it's not about emotions. I think that the guy wants to communicate. Maybe he is, this is why his fantasy is so different. Maybe it's the opposite of what he experiences in his everyday life. The lack of intimacy, the lack of, him being able to touch someone without them thinking that it's inappropriate, and this doesn't have to be extremely sexual, but I think that the guy definitely needs, and he craves, intimacy, closeness, and also very deep conversations, like someone asking him how he's doing and just listening to him, and he's like, wow. Okay, my bias, Utah. Oh, it's been a long day, guys, a long day. Okay, they are very, today with the Knight of Pentacles, they are being very slow, very methodic, very like, sort of like, arranging everything. The lion. Yeah, and here we have again the Four of Wands, that that this card is like the giver, the giver of oral pleasure. And then we have the Two of Wands, the Two of Wands. So he wouldn't mind to have two people. Like, he's feeling very passionate. Like, this time he's feeling very passionate. But I think that he's like, my fantasy nowadays is that I could have like sort of more than one, just, showing their desires for me. He has that fantasy. It's like, I want these people to to I don't know if it's like to show themselves to him, and sort of having this very intimate dynamic between them, and him being an spectator, him being in the crowd, and him being like, like, yeah, you guys go ahead, I'm going to watch in here, I sort of see that he's a bit like far away from the scene. I don't see him like getting involved. So there's something about this fantasy being more like, okay, I want to watch you. I want to see you having pleasure. Like, it's not that, I'm still in control. So this is something that he's not aggressive. It's not that the guy is aggressive. It's not at all. In here with the Four of Wands, definitely he enjoys to see the other person like having a good time and like feeling the pressure. You know, he definitely enjoys and he feels very proud of himself to know how to pleasure someone. He probably feels very proud. He's like, you know, but he also probably wants to see, you know, how much you want him. So he would like take distance and just observe you, like, you know, okay, show me how much you want me, for example, you know, and I would just watch. You do you, you do you. I'm going to be over here, you know. I think that he has that fantasy. But yeah, with the Knight of Earth, that also is a Virgo card. You know, Taeyeon got it. There's this feeling of like I will work on the details, you know, and I will make sure that everything is perfect, and I will like work on being a better provider, like I would say a better lover. You know, I will try to show that I'm perfect, but definitely he's like, you know, I wouldn't mind to have a crowded room, like one or two people. Choose maybe if you want to fight for me, if you want to compete for my attention. You know, I'm going to be here chilling. So yeah, you do what you have to do to entertain me, because yeah, you have to entertain me. So yeah, maybe one of them will get a special treatment from him because he. Sorry guys, I got disconnected. He's in here giving pleasure, oral pleasure. But I don't think that it would be like to all of them. I think that it would be like the one that he chooses. But like I always tell you, in this card, in the Four of Wands, it's not so much like, okay, I want you to be like to reach the climax and I want you to be happy and satisfied with me. It's more like, you know, I am very good at this, so let me do it for you. Like, because I'm the best, you know? I'm the best in this. I know what I'm doing. Not him playing favorites. He's feeling very generous. Like he's giving everyone, like if you see them like, on concerts, he's giving all the shippers. They are all having their moments because Utah is being like, you know, is opening the ships with all the members. He's like giving screen time to all of them. So yeah, Utah is very expansive like this. You know, it's like, don't fight, guys. I will give you a second for each one of you. He's feeling, which is okay because I think that he's working with his dynamic with the members, and that's great. That's great. You know, not just sticking to one in particular. He's like, you know, I'm being playful with all of them, and it's great because the fans appreciate the moments. Kind of connected to his Mars, yeah, a bit maybe, yeah. Yeah, because he got a lot of fire. He got a lot of fire cards. A lot of fire cards. You know, very adventurous, but also very detached. You know, like, okay, like, yeah, my fantasy is that this is just fun, but yeah, like, I don't care who you are. Like, if you're a stranger, like, very wild. You know, he is a wild soul. He's a wild soul. So it makes sense that his fantasies are very, like this, expansive. Hechan. Oh. Okay, Hechan. Knight of Waters. Again, Knight of Water, very much in his feelings. Another one that just observes and admires someone from a distance. Ten of Pentacles. Again, this type of woman must be popular. This type of women must be popular. And Knight of Wands. This kind of woman must be like it could be like a Nuna fantasy. Like definitely, like this kind of woman is the chosen one. Like definitely, she's everywhere. I think that probably the other queens, because this is not a queen, but this shows in a scenario of someone very like, you know, very prestigious, like someone very luxurious. So I definitely think that they sort of admire someone that is very successful and that looks rich and fancy, and also very much like into their business, not paying attention to them. Because the queens that they got usually are like the ones that they do get it are the ones that could potentially have like mommy issues. like they want an older woman, like someone more experienced that can guide them. But yeah, with Hechan, there's something about him just being um, very much into his feelings. I think that his fantasy is to fall in love, or maybe he's thinking about someone. He's thinking about someone that he had like an emotional connection with, and he still cannot let go of that person. I think that he still fantasizes about this person, and maybe he sees that this person is doing well by themselves, like they are doing very well. And there's something about him admiring her from a distance, but not doing much about it. But yeah, with the of Pentacles is not the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. This is the runner, the one that goes with the horse. So I think that his fantasy it would be to unexpectedly show up at this person's house and be like, okay, I'm going to, because he got two knights, the emotional one and the passionate one. So it's like, he could have this fantasy like, okay, what about if I would let my feelings shown? What about if I would go and just approach this person that I think that she's not that interested in me? I think that she's not like, I'm not her type. She probably has like another suitors that, that are better than me, but I just want to be brave. There's something about him. Also, he has all these knights, and he's very young. Hechan is very young, so definitely the guy probably has a very active imagination. So fantasies are all the time in his mind, all the time. Like the guy, he's not restricted at all. It's just that I think there is a mix of sexual desire and a mix of emotionality. He probably remembers someone that he had a crush on, or he has a crush on in the moment, and then he mixes it with the passionate side of him. Him wanting to be this sort of hero, him wanting to be more brave, more courageous, and it's like, okay, I don't care if you don't like me, I'm going to go and chase you anyway, and I think that this is the knights Hechan always gets. Like he's the kind of guy that he will be very insistent. Even in his fantasies, you can sense that he has the willpower, or he fantasizes about going. Like he probably makes this image in his mind where he goes and meet this person, where he goes and just like, it's like expresses his heart out to this person, and just confesses what he feels, and it's very dramatic and it's very open, and he sort of kisses this person passionately, and everything happens in a minute. Like for him, I believe that his fantasies are all about him moving, because there's something about when I read for Hechan that definitely he is a doer. He is a guy that he puts, in this case we're talking about fantasies. It's not that the guy is going to do this. It's in his mind. It's a fantasy. But probably in his mind, it's always about, okay, what can I do? How can I move towards the object of my desire? It's not so much about what the person does. It's more about the person is not doing much. Like he doesn't have like an imagination where it's like, oh no, my fantasy is this person or this woman doing this to me. He's like, no, I'm the doer in the fantasy. I'm the one that moves. I'm the one that does. I'm the one that takes initiative. I'm the one that gets things done. I run to her, not her to me. And he finds this very thrilling, sort of like a telenovela, K-drama style, very dramatic, him being very heroic. I feel like he feels turned on to be the main lead, or to be like the savior, or to be like the warrior, like I'm going to go and let you know how I feel, and he just feels like very, his ego feels very good in this sense. K-drama scenario. Okay. Tail. There is one tail. Um, yeah, this is very tail. King of Swords. King of Swords. Then the Wheel of Fortune, a lot of females. And in this deck is called the Mirror. And then we have the Hierophant. So yeah, I think that definitely like Tail is also a bit contradictory when it comes to his fantasies because he probably like also I know he has moon in Leo as well, so there's something about him like dreaming because the mirror card for me is like a sort of like when you have the fantasy of doing it in somewhere with mirrors where you can watch each other or you can watch the other person or the other person can watch themselves and you can watch the both of you, you know. So I think that he loves that part that is like I want to see us, you know, I want to watch us, you know, I like that exposure, you know, I find that very hot. And also him being the king of air, the king of swords, you know, him being a Gemini. He probably, I think that he has experience in intimate relationships. There's something about him having fantasies, yes, but I think that the guy is very communicative about his fantasies. He probably, there's something about this not feeling like a fantasy. This feeling more like, you know, these are the ideas that I had been collecting. Like, you know, because maybe I can do something about them, or maybe I can convince my partner to do it. You know, there's something about him feeling very communicative, feeling very clear. Also, he is the king of swords, so there's something about that. What he says, it gets done. You know, here I don't see that he has also a type. But yeah, with the priest or, you know, the card of the Hierophant, there's something about him probably also being very traditional when it comes to sex. He likes a few things, but it's not that he goes that crazy. It's like he probably fantasizes and he does a few things, but it's not like he's that passionate. You know, when you have the King of Swords, he does give me that he is a bit dominant also in relationships. He's very expressive about what he likes and what he doesn't like. But I see him very much in control. Very much in control. Very much in control. Like he's on top of things. Like very much in control. So, yeah. But also he has that part where he is a bit traditional. You know, when we have the Hierophant, I think that he could fantasize a bit more. But there's a part of him that, I don't know if he's religious or I don't know if he has like people that are like, you know, this is bad, this is not okay. So he's like, you know, I better erase these fantasies of my mind. But definitely he's a guy that he's very imaginative. I can sort of see him like not needing a partner. Actually, he just can play a sort of movie in his head because we have the King of Swords. So I don't see someone. I don't see like he's like, okay, I want to have this scenario with someone. He's like, no, I can just watch, or I can just imagine things in my head, and I'm okay. You know, because with the Hierophant, there's something about him being like, you know, my religion doesn't allow me to do these things or something like this. So yeah, he's very traditional in that sense. But I think that he has a dirty mind. Definitely, he has dirty thoughts. He has it. He has it. When I see the King of Swords, I'm like, you. It's like it's not that he does something about it or he's like, oh, I have this passionate idea. No, but he probably is someone that he just imagines the scenario and he just laughs to himself. You know, he's like, his imagination runs very fast and very wild and maybe in random places. Like he probably is at some kind of, you know, at some event or something, and he's starting to have fantasies about someone or a situation. He's like, he's laughing to himself because the King of Swords is also very resourceful, and it's someone that yeah, he can fantasize, but also he can be very like he can be funny, he can be hilarious, you know, he can be sarcastic, he can be like you know. But he's always in control because he comes as the king of swords. So it's like, you know, it doesn't matter who he's with, you know, or oh, I have this woman or this person, this idea in my mind, this you know, I want this with this. No, he's like, you know, yeah, I think about it from time to time. Even when I'm at work, I think about it or fantasize about things, and for me, it's hilarious. Like he finds sex funny, or he just finds like hilarious certain things, and I don't know why. He's just it's very funny like that. Yeah. You're welcome, guys. It had been a heavy ride. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. I done my best. I done my best. Thank you so much, guys, to the people that send me the donations, that send me to the. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm going to go rest because actually, like, I feel very, like, I don't know why. I usually feel like I get some. I think it is the poster, but also it happens to me when I read for people that I feel like a lot of tension in here. In here, there's a lot of tension in like in my the back of my head. But yeah, this was fun, especially when I do readings for a lot of people. I sort of feel the weight of their energies on me. But yeah, I will try to cleanse myself afterwards. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining. Have a great Valentine's Day. Like, enjoy it with your loved ones. Pamper yourself. And yeah, don't forget to love yourself. Thank you, guys. Bye.